Hey everybody, and welcome to the 10th point, season 8, week 2. I am the Red Mage, and joining me on the line this week, like for pretty much every week these days, are Cosmit and Zanti. Hi guys, how's it going?
Hello. Good. About to get some dinner not too long, so. And about to see some good magic, hopefully, as well.
Yeah, we are just about ready to bring you our usual weekly dose of powerful magic. We are going to do a 4 round Canadian Highlander tournament. So we're going to be highlighting the best match every round. I am going to let my lovely commentators bring us through the introduction while I am working on pairings.
So, in case you're not familiar, with the 10th point, we run these weekly, usually tournaments of Canadian Highlander. If you're unaware, Canadian Highlander is a community-made format out of, well, Canada. We play 100-card singleton with a vintage ban list, almost. Lures is not banned. So in that way, it kind of resembles Commander, except you do not have the Commander, you do not have the color restrictions, and instead of a ban list, we have what we refer to as a points list. So you can only play a certain amount of the best cards and their respective points. So if you want to have, say, Black Lotus in your deck, that's 7 out of those 10 points. And if you want the Martuda in your deck, I believe that is 4 out of those 10 points, respectively. So you can't play Black Lotus and the Martuda in the same deck. Likewise, if you interested in what you see here today, we do in fact have a Discord where you can find everything Canadian Highlander. And if you want to play in a tournament like this because you're seeing it and you're like, oh, this was interesting. You know what? I'm gonna try that. Then in fact we do it. I do believe we have our next event command here. Not sure if it has been updated. It has not
No,
been updated. I am disgusted.
I'm
This will be updated
sorry.
later today. No. And of course, if you want us to support us here in the stream so we can continue providing great content and even prizes and just, yes, exactly, Santi is throwing us in there in the chat. We do recommend that you throw us a subscription. That's the best way to support us currently. And of course, if you have a Twitch Prime lying around that's just kind of not going anywhere and being used for anything, we wouldn't mind it being sent here or just use it somewhere. Jeff Bezos is not even the CEO of Abzan anymore. He's clearly got enough money. So spend it on someone you know, some of you think really deserves that extra couple of bucks a month. Because it doesn't cost you anything. It gains them something, and you get some sweet emotes and privileges. With that being said, I believe we have 9 players today here. So we'll be playing a lovely 4 rounds as always. With yeah, actually, I think that's about it. I don't think there's so much more to say, and then just trying to get the rounds going here. It should be said that we are having a slight bit of technical trouble with Santi's sound and internet here. I'm not sure if it's looking better on your end right there.
Nah, I can't hear anything that Tim is saying. We'll have to figure it out.
Curious.
uh,
So I'll be running the mic perhaps for the first round or two, seeing if we can figure out what's going on there. Maybe we'll be having a guest commentator on. We'll have to look at that,
yeah, if
depending on who's nearby and
somebody,
if they feel like it.
yeah, Tim
So
also mentioned our website on in chat that we should also, it's also something cool. We have a website. You can check all of our stats there. I am going to pair the round right now, and after that, we're gonna get this ball rolling and start watching some gameplay. How about that?
sounds good.
Uh,
Let us
I
see
have
what we have here to go with.
helps if I tell the tournament to
It does.
start before.
It does indeed help to actually
before I
start the
pair it.
tournament.
I should probably start doing that.
So last week we actually, and you will have to correct me if I'm incorrect, if I'm messing up here. Was it Grixis that won the tournament, or am I remembering correctly here?
No, it was John. But
John,
we did have a lot of.
We did have a lot of Grixis. That's why I was like,
Yeah.
I felt like someone won with Grixis there. Like, probability says that was the most likely deck to win. But yeah, Jund, that's true. We did have a. That's right. Luca did win with his Jund to beat down that crow, taking down, amongst other things, a bunch of Grixis in the field. Pardon 1 second.
Alright, we have our round 1 pairings posted. What do you want to take a look at? We have some juicy, interesting stuff.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, no problem. So we can watch red deck. I think this is medium red actually, versus Academy. There's some Gruul monsters deck. I believe that it's the Gruul Aggro midrange deck that Devious has part of the other time versus Abzan midrange. There's Jund versus, I believe this is Grixis twin, or there is the Kiki Pod deck, I think, that we saw the other time versus also Grixis. What do you think? Do you want to take a look at?
I'm kind of flexible there.
It's pairings visual. Like, is there a? I can't see pairings either.
No, I can't either. Interestingly,
Is there like a?
Try now.
A man
I should be published now. Sorry, I turned on a setting that I can look at the pairings before they're published for everybody to see, which I had forgotten. They are, however, up. They have now been published. So, what do you want us to take a look at?
let us see here. We have Blahguy's getting the buy. Actually, I'm gonna suggest we take this. Then again, we might see them later. No, you know what? I think Evius and Bailite, they can usually tend to give us some pretty long and interesting matches, and I would actually really like to take a look at that.
Last time Evius had some technical issues where he couldn't use the camera.
Yeah, we'll have to find out if they're available on that. And
yeah, it looks like Evius is good to go.
Lovely. So first of all, if we take just a couple seconds to just talk about what we will likely be seeing in these matchups. I'm not sure what Eevee is on specifically, and you can find out that in the meantime. But Bailite,
probably Gruul Aggro would be my guess.
Gruul Aggro?
I would expect it to be Gruul Aggro. Or yeah, Gruul Aggro.
Evius is on Gruul Aggro.
Aggro and not Stumpy, just to be completely clear here.
Well, it's probably Stompy. Like, you know, it's a Gruul Aggro midrange deck. We have seen the other time. Like, once you're in 2 colors, it can only be so aggro. That's kind of the nature of the beast.
You're playing cards like Love Struck Beast and Brush File Elemental and
Questing Beast.
Zondu, Stamp, or whatever it's called. And, you know.
Yeah, you're playing the creatures that because of 2+ mana and that have way too many stats and perhaps also flying or haste. And they beat down, and that's what they do. They like to be Gruul, and they like to be cruel, and like to beat some face.
Just out of curiosity, if he's
Bailite,
if Evios is on Gruul Aggro, is he playing Eldrazi Obliterator? Or the 2 in a red Eldrazi?
The one that Act of Treason, is that the one you're thinking of?
Yes.
Obligator, I believe.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that depends, but it depends on if you play the colorless cards in the first place in a 2-color deck. Because it's not like,
But that's
I
the
mean, that's kind
question,
of
right?
still a splash, isn't it? In a way, in a 2-color deck, it's kind of a pseudo third color or what? I'm not sure. How free do you think playing like these colorless creatures is, Santi?
I mean, it really depends how you build a deck. With the 2-color mana base, you can generally get away with this pretty easily. Like white black taxes pretty easily.
You have access. You end up on a 2-color mana base. You end up access to 2 sources that are kind of free because both the Pain Land and the Filter Land can create colorless mana. Past that, it can get a little bit dicier.
Now I'm just gonna like talk a bit quickly about here what Bailite's on. We've seen Bailite play well, pretty much just one deck, to be quite frank, and it's some variations thereof, which is this kind of grindy Abzan deck, very focused on Greya-based attrition, solid removal spells and creatures. But we're seeing something here in his starting hand here.
Which I actually
second card.
dislike the starting hand a fair amount.
It is actually, yeah, it is it's indeed a solid hand, but there's something really interesting here. Now that's I believe it's Car. What is he called again? Car. So.
There is Karlov.
Yes, it has indeed. So
Evios is having some technical difficulties
black.
with the hand sharing thing, so we're gonna get that set. That we're gonna fix that, and then we're gonna start the match. Just then you know why we're waiting.
Looked like Bailite did keep his hand though. Which I'm not a huge fan of.
Yeah, agreed.
I'm not a huge fan of his hand.
Well, that's why. Is it? I mean, it has a 2-drop. It has 3-drops. It has Liliana, which can add things. You have mana. What is it you don't like about it? What I mean, what is it?
Karlov is a 3-drop.
You're up against a. I mean, it allows you to have a solid play on turn 2. Sure, it's not gonna have a.
No, which of these
cards?
costs
Is this not General Cujo?
No, that's Karlov. That is Karlov.
Oh.
Let me pull it up. Yeah, that is Karlov of the Ghost Council. Or Karlov. I thought that Karlov was one white black, but it is actually just white black.
If there's a 2-drop in this hand, I like this hand a lot better. I thought his hand was 4 3-drops and 3 lands, and I was like, this hand is awkward.
No, it is indeed a 2-drop. It is a interesting, and that was actually the kind I was going to mention. An interesting 2-drop in Bailite's list here, one I haven't seen before around.
Yeah, I think he's trying that.
I'm not going to say. But like, it's a really solid card that if you have enough ways to just gain life just in any way, shape, or form, whether it's just your scavenging oozes or similar lands that just randomly gain you 1 life or something somewhere, that's just going to be an easy 2-mana 4/4. And even a 2-mana 2/2 isn't the end of the world a lot of the time. So it's a creature that really can just kind of akin to its Hammerglyph and such, kind of just grow just out of nowhere.
It can also act as sort of removal if you have enough life in somehow.
Correct. And it's just a big creature against what do we expect here from these cruel threats from Evios. It's gonna be like that's gonna be a real wall if it starts growing.
We are having some technical difficulties at the time that is not super ideal, so we might have to deviate from our paradigm of we might have to give it a rule exception and let these guys reset after every game or something, because we're costing them a ton of time. It's just putting it out there. Evios' Discord is just telling him screen sharing unavailable. Download the desktop task to screen share, but he is on the desktop app, which is.
I think worst case is we watch the game without it.
Yeah, we'll have to do it
because it's gonna be a bit awkward to join into another game now, considering that they're probably going.
Yes, I agree. That we'll have to make gonna work.
We start with a mountain. So probably some form of lightning bolt being held up by the Evios.
Not necessarily. Might well be that you have like a root-bound crag or similar. Or just have a bunch of basics and don't have really a one-drop. But it does definitely represent some sort of spell.
It's actually interesting that you mentioned rootbound crag. Generally speaking, if you don't have a 1-drop and your lands are rootbound crag basic mountain, I'm almost always starting on the crag tap if I don't have a 1-drop in hand that I can
Why
cast.
so?
It's because it lets you have more possibilities for your next turn if you end up drawing a forest and you need to play like a Strangleroot Geist, you now have the ability to do it. Or if you want to play a different land, then you have the ability to play a different land, and you're not forced into playing this Rootbound Crag if you have to play green mana and having this land that only taps for red on the battlefield.
We do see the Boma Curry come out down here.
Which is a very good 1-drop, especially against this hand, which will probably get in a couple times before this 2/2 lifelinker stops.
So that's actually quite interesting. Interesting. Just of that as well.
I would
does
have.
end up
This
landing a
is
lot.
very interesting with the Godless Shrine coming in tap versus the Shambling Vent, because the Shambling Vent always comes in tap.
True.
I guess he wants
I
to
think there's
play.
another reason why you want to play the play it over the Shambling Vent, and that is specifically
If you have some check land in hand that looks for forest or plains, then I can see you wanting it. Or you have something that cares about it. Like you do have the Knight of the Valkyrie, but I don't see.
You have the Woodland Cemetery that checks specifically for swarms, which is why.
Oh, that's a Woodland Cemetery. Sorry. Yes, then this makes more sense.
It does seem like we are getting the camera down here going slowly but
Yes,
surely.
We're gonna see near.
Ooh, I already see some new inclusions here from some of the more recent sets actually. That is a Bailite Tyrant and what is the new one called here to the left?
It's something Berserker. I don't remember the first name of it, but it is 3-mana 3/3 with haste and Boast 1, which is the new ability from the set. And Boast, I also very much hate tapping the stomping ground here and just feel the need to mention this as I'm discussing what Boast does.
We have a name here from Blahguy, Enril Broken Brow. Jesus Christ, that is not a nice name.
It's Arnie, but yeah, I mean,
yeah,
Arnie. I know too much. I was betrayed.
Boast allows you to activate the ability if you have attacked with it this turn, and this ability specifically is you get its power is set to the highest power on the board, other than itself, +1. But mostly it's just a 3-mana haste.
When you're playing 4/4s, that can easily just mean that you have a free turning into like a 5 or 6/3, just on the sheet.
You play this, and then you play your Leyline Tyrant. This is attacking for 4 or 5.
I'm actually looking at Bailite's hand here, and I'm like, that can actually grow this card up to some quite great heights quickly. And we also we might also end up seeing the Scavenging Goose war at some point go down.
I actually really like playing the Berserker here, and then I kind of really like attacking with everything here.
It is
you kill the Liliana if you attack with everything. You're throwing your Beaumont card away, but
it is worth mentioning that the Scooz only gains the life if you actually end up exiling the card. So if you are sitting on Dueling Scavenging Goose and you try to exile something, but then the opponent eats it, the opponent's Scooz eats it, you don't gain the life, which won't trigger the card lob, which, with all the consequences that entails.
So currently we actually see Bailite with 3 different sources of life gain in hand. We have, of course, Scavenging Goose, as we just discussed, but we also have this Gerald's Verdict, which if they...
This Thoughtseize is going to be disgusting now. Just get rid of Avios' hand.
That is absolutely an option, which does put you at a bit of a low life total, but also, as you said, means that our opponent can't really do anything, and then if we get down Scavenging Goose or Knight or something, then we can just go off and just have an incredible board state. But I'm curious if we're going to see that, or if we're going to see Yeah, it does look like we're gonna see, as you mentioned, just rip his hand apart.
Though, if your
I
plan
mean,
is to
your
rip
opponent
somebody's hands apart, you are not
your
happy to see a
opponent
Phoenix
missed
of
their
Ash.
land drop 2 turns ago, right? And so you know that they have all spells in their hand. They cast a 3-drop, and you know that they didn't cast like I guess they cast Grim Lavamancer, but like they did miss their land drop, so you know they're not sitting on lands in their hand, so they're sitting on actual spells. Just getting all of these out of their hand would be nice. But as Marco said, Phoenix of Ash can come back from the graveyard, but it does require a land drop.
Oh, there you go.
So if Evios misses on the land this turn, which he did not,
This is
you do
actually
get the Scavenging Ooze at next turn.
the land is actually really good here. Just
That's
being
a
an on-top
Wander's
land.
Enclave, right?
Yeah,
Because something notable about Phoenix of Ash is that usually escape is a downside, but I think here, and you might correct me, Santi, if you disagree, but I actually think escaping here, requiring exile, is actually an upside.
of exiling the creatures, yes. That
Because
is
that
true,
means
because you
that
get
now
to
who doesn't realize that there's a Scavenging Ooze in your opponent's hand, but with that in mind, if you knew that, getting rid of targets for that so that the Kalo doesn't grow as well, seems quite reasonable. I'm really curious to see what Bailite goes for here, because I can see I'm just playing the Ooze here. And
I
then
think you play the Ooze and you hold up Abrupt Decay.
I think with how we're seeing a tap here, we're gonna see just some growing here immediately. Yes, we are. I mean, you're at 6, so you really want to just like try and preserve as much as possible. You do, if you do go down this road, you go to 8 once you exile a creature out of your own yard, presumably. There should be one, I think.
So
No, wait,
here
no
we
green
get
house.
to
There's no,
see a
there's not even a
Castle
creature in your
Ember's
yard.
activation. Plus, also not eating now means that you can't eat on this turn and use your last mana. You have to, because this, I don't like not, I guess this land comes in tap, so it doesn't matter. But you can't effectively eat here during combat. I also very much like getting in there with this Arnie.
And just trading with whatever blocks.
Yeah.
Yeah, because turn is gonna
Yeah.
be a 6-3. It cannot be,
Yeah.
like, it has to eat something.
And now with the green mana being open. Oh, that's a new Saga. Actually, as well. We are seeing some new
So this
cards
makes
here.
a 4/4 Angel, which does block this this Phoenix of Ash. Although it's not good enough on this board state. And this does this card have lifelink? I don't remember this card. The cards off.
Yeah,
Kalo does indeed not have lifelink.
it does not.
Okay.
Oh, you meant the angel?
The angel does not have life.
Yeah, no, the angels in the Call Time set have all been more or less, at least the token ones have been Serra Angel tokens.
We see the Abrupt Decay cast here, which
And then
does
go for
mean that
the
it can get eaten.
yeah.
I would still fight over this because you're not doing anything else with your mana, and you force the mana outside to be used from Bailite here.
So what are you thinking about this inclusion of this new saga here?
So I've been interested in this saga. I think people overestimate how good this saga is because generally speaking, you're not going to be a dedicated angel deck. And if you kill the 4/4, then this card does nothing. So it's a 4-mana 4/4 with flying and vigilance in most cases. And if that's good enough to play in your deck, I think this is a pretty good card. Otherwise, I think that this card is probably not worth it.
Interesting.
I mean, if you're playing, if you are in the market for a 4-mana 4/4 with vigilance, right? The question is this saga better than Serra? The answer is probably not.
I think they do kind of different things. Serra's definitely better at the beatdown plan, but if you're playing more of a defensive or controlling deck, I think this serves that role better because this does allow you to destroy creatures. and
But it
do some.
requires this angel to survive, right? Like this
Yeah,
angel
like,
doesn't get the ability
both
to
of those
start with. You can get fatal pushed, and then your angel can get pushed off a cliff, as we all know is perfect logic.
Yeah, that is
And then it
obviously.
just doesn't do anything.
Look, if you don't realize it, and technically, fatal push is just a fatal push, not a fatal push off the edge.
Oh, we see Evios
Just being
just
pushed
come.
like onto a sword.
I'm
Is
curious
there
here, we
no
didn't see the
creatures in
Bailite
Bailite's
flame
graveyard? I guess not.
I don't think
activated
there's
here.
anything in Bailite's graveyard. Oh.
I mean, I would
Bailite's
still be
graveyard.
eating stuff from Bailite's graveyard just because you should be eating stuff from Bailite's graveyard.
Yeah, there is no reason not to.
So looking at this board side here, what
There
do
was
you
a
think is the
misplay
best way for
though.
Evios to come
I guess
back here? Because they're clearly behind right now. There's a bunch of huge beaters. Like, yeah, your opponents are free. That's definitely a viable out. But they have Scavenging Ooze to try and gain some life,
your
and
opponents are free. That's definitely
a bunch of friends.
out. But they have Scavenging Ooze to try and
we
gain
are
some
going
life,
to see
and,
this angel get in
that's
for
definitely
4
bunch of
and
friends.
destroy a creature now.
But they have Scavenging Ooze to try and
We
gain
are
some
going
life,
to see
and,
this angel get
So
in
which one
for
do you
4
destroy here
and
if you
destroy a creature now.
if you Bailite?
But they have Scavenging Ooze to try and
We are
gain
going
some
I'm
life,
destroying the
and,
scoos.
So which one do you destroy here?
I'm
Because-
sorry.
If you Bailite?
Did the two of you unmute yourself
destroying the scoos.
on Discord?
I'm
sorry.
Why am I hearing things
Did
twice?
the two
What's
of you
happening?
I'm gonna guess it's because you have
Switch.
MTG made the stream started there, because that's what I have. I'm gonna
Oh,
guess
I
it's
know what the
because you
problem
have
is,
MTG made the stream started there, because that's what I have. I'm gonna guess
Oh, I
it's
know what the
because
problem
you have
is,
MTG made the stream started there, because that's what I have. I'm gonna guess
Oh, I
it's
know what the
because
problem
you have MTG. Yeah, we're gonna see it pop the schools as you suggest here. Does mean you don't have to care for this
Yeah, we're gonna see
schools
pop
war.
the schools as you suggest here.
Funnily
mean you
enough,
don't have
if
to
you're
care
playing
for this,
Stormbreath or
we're gonna
Storm
see
Breath
more
Dragon,
schools as you suggest here.
Bailite's still
Funnily
dead to
enough,
Storm
if you're
Breath
playing
Dragon or Storm Breath
True.
Dragon. Or not Storm Breath Dragon, but
Bailite's
other
still dead
to
5
Storm
mana,
Breath Dragon.
5
Any hate-
power, Thunder,
Yeah,
Thunder
any
Maul.
big haste
Or not
creature
Storm
should
Breath
about
Dragon.
do it
Other
here.
5 mana,
With
5
any
power,
with
Thunder,
evasion.
Yeah,
Thunder
any
Maul.
big haste.
I do think we're gonna see
With evasion.
Yeah, any big haste.
I do think we're gonna see the Reclamation get back Liliana, and then I would also probably just immediately eat the Scavenging Ooze, but I guess you can plus first, or if you were minusing, you could minus yourself first to see what would happen there. But I would be immediately eating. If you were minusing, and we're gonna see a cycled Tridome, and then I bet you we're probably gonna see a concession over here soon.
Possibly, yeah.
Okay, sorry for the
Oh,
audio issue. I
ooh.
fixed it, I think.
This Chain Lightning,
That,
if it was
that
an
really
instant, it would win the
this
game.
really pays off for the fact that you chose to kill the Scavenging Ooze here. Because that makes it so that this chain lightning here is not lethal.
Yep. But if it was an instant here, it's very possible that there would be lethal at the end of the turn.
Correct.
If Lightning Bolt was drawn instead, for example.
Looking at Evius' hand here, this is looking like a mulligan. 6 lands. Not much to hope for there, though that is a better hand. 2 fours, a bunch of lands, and a 2-drop Manador.
Go 2
Definitely an
into a
outplay.
4 into a second 4. And these are powerful 4s.
Absolutely.
Bailite, on the other hand, though, does have this Mox Pearl off the top of the deck, which, you know, I'm
Which of course was completely planned.
yeah, this hand was fine before this Mox Pearl, and then, you know.
Yeah, but this Mox really helps out because this is definitely a hand that can get some
Yeah.
tokens in play and just.
You had no ones, and you go
forward.
straight into a 2 and a 3 with a Lingering Souls next turn.
It looks to me like this is a hand that, especially alongside the Satyr Wayfinder and Lurus, can just kind of start like, if the Wayfinder starts dying over and over, you can just kind of like mill yourself onto. You can just cast a really cheap Emrakul.
Excuse me. I kinda got distracted at the end of last round because I was trying to fix this stupid double voice problem that we were having. Who won?
That would be Bailite.
Bailite one.
Ooh, we're seeing actually another new card here. Not this time, not from Kaltine, but what is it called? Commander Legends.
Commander Legend?
Correct. Do not remember the name of the card, but it is a 4-mana 4/2 that when it enters the battlefield, you become the monarch. Actually, one of the probably the strongest red Monarch enabling cards. And I believe when it, oh, I can't remember what triggers it, but I believe it deals damage equal to the cards, to the opponent equal to cards they have in hand, if I remember correctly here.
I will say, I don't really have a desire to be the Monarch on a board state with a Lingering Souls just getting cast. Unless I draw Thundermaw Hellcate, which we talked about a little bit ago, and then I'm really excited to be the Monarch on this board state.
Let me see here. It's Ember Wild Captain. And whenever an opponent attacks you while you're the Monarch, he deals damage to that player equal to cards in their hand. So,
Why?
but yeah,
is
you're right.
there
Lingering
a-
Souls makes it easy to gain the Monarchy here.
Why is there?
Though
a
lane line.
Why is there a volcanic island in Eagus's deck?
Why's what?
We did see it last game, and my assumption is there's something that requires a blue, like a double card or something that requires a blue pip somewhere. But it could also have been a mistake inclusion.
I will. check.
Doubtful, considering we saw both a drop and a volcanic these games. So I presume there's some sort of light splash for something.
Oh,
We didn't see this
yeah, it's a
Leyline
splash,
Fire.
alright.
Is it for what, Oko or something?
It's Oko. It is absolutely
Called it.
Oko.
God.
If it was Euro, I'd say that was actually doesn't make sense because you need two blue. But
Yeah, I feel a bit a bit greedy. Okay, so good you splash for it, even in decks that don't really usually play that kind of card.
I mean, you already have
Yeah,
birds,
we
you
can see a
already have
bunch of
Sylvan
1/1 coming
Caryatid
here.
in your deck, so you have some outs, just like, you don't only rely on your lands to cast it, right? You have like other ways to do so. Although maybe you shouldn't have Sylvan Caryatid in your deck either. That's the other...
I mean, I'm looking at this here, and I'm just not seeing Bailite actually winning this, to be completely honest.
these cards are very powerful, and Bailite's hand is not lining up particularly well.
No, like there's some solid cards, like Luras and Kozil here are gonna help you gain some good life. That second Lingering Soul is gonna really give you more presence, but you know what? Your opponent can deal with all your 1/1s. Because this hero stops from blocking, and the ones with flying, well, we have this Thundermaw Hellkite here that once we get one more Mana Souls, is gonna just not care at all.
But yeah, Bailite's gonna cast his Lingering Souls next turn, and then that's gonna be turn Evios draws the land, and then it's not gonna be well with this
I think it's
Thundermaw.
what do you think about his choice to play the War Boss over, say, the hero or such here?
I really like it. You get in with the 1/1 for free. The 1/1 stays around. Next turn, that means you get to get in with even more things. Because Bailite attacked, which is uncharacteristic for him to attack before the 12th turn of the game. You do kind of get to punish him for that. With getting in with the Legion War Boss's token, not just getting eaten by something.
Looking at this draw here is another Mox, which is nice. You definitely have a lot to do with your mana with like Uro and such here. Sorry, not Uro, Lurus.
You don't actually have much to do with Lurus, though, because you don't have any thing. I guess what was milled over, actually, because that would
Yeah, that's why I'm
depend.
not trying to figure out what is in the graveyard who could possibly get that revealed.
there is currently no Lurusable card in the graveyard.
No,
Is
you're
there
right about that.
Stoneforge Mystic? I thought I just saw Stoneforge Mystic.
Nope.
Yes.
Oh, there
yes,
is a
yes,
Stoneforge. Okay, sorry, I missed it.
Okay, now that we've determined there's a Stoneforge, I like this Lurus play a lot.
Yeah.
Shrikmo, the mechanic on Shrikmo kind of working against Bailite a little bit, because Shrikmo is essentially a card that you put in your deck that will cost 2 mana, but it doesn't. So, like,
Much
if
the
they had
same
the
reason that you'll take
kick
5 damage
heavily.
off revealing your Force of Will to your Dark Confidant. You likewise will also not be able to cast a streak more of your Lurus.
Now, I'll be honest,
TMZ.
I do like attacking with the Sado Wayfinder here. Just gonna put that out there.
Just for like style points or hope it dies.
If it dies, then next turn you get the Sado Wayfinder from the graveyard.
True, but leaving behind is a blocker for whatever your opponent throws in, alongside like Stoneforge. Now it's gonna end up not really mattering much, admittedly. Due to the Hero of Oxford Rich here saying that no thank you to your cheap blockers. Gotta swing in for one total of, presuming the hero gets blocked here, that's only actually a net difference of 3 damage. Just showing just how much value this quick mana and engines like Loris can really do here. How many card times do we know is in the graveyard of Bailite here?
How many what?
Like how many times? How many card types is available to Bailite?
Oh,
Like how close are we to casting Emrakul
we
here?
have land, sorcery, creature, I believe.
Land sorcery creature.
No,
that's
is
free
grapple
now.
with the past an instant? It is an instant. So we have land, sorcery, instant, creature.
So that is 4. I believe that's 9 mana. And we have what? 6 in play, 7 with the land in hand.
So yeah, he's 11 towards
We're
Emrakul. He
slightly
still needs
off,
to
but
have
not
one more
too
mana.
far. Yeah.
Oh, there's an elf on top of his library. That's another mana.
So what do we have? What can we do with mana here? We can stone push something into play, but we can't really, due to the way the mana was tapped here, we can't really. Oh, actually,
You
no, I
hope
was
this
wrong.
Abrade gets
It's
cast
a
on your
black
Batterskull.
Indeed, it does answer the Batterskull, but that means you have to leave your mana up for that, presumably, and not play for.
But I mean, if you hope this Abrade gets cast on this Batterskull, then you add an artifact to your graveyard and helps you cast this Emrakul.
True, it does indeed make Emrakul that bit more castable. Actually means that if you draw land off the Kozu and also land, that should be able to cast Emrakul as well. But yeah, I think the interesting question here is, do you just go with a Monarch here because that's just more efficient?
The problem with the Monarchy is your opponent. I do like getting the Monarchy here because your opponent's gonna only attack with flyers, and then you can get it back. And it finds you another draw to draw this land for this Thunder Hellcade, which is what you really want to be casting here. On the flip side, if you want to just hold up a Braid for this Batterskull, that's also a reasonable choice.
And
Which
yeah,
is-
you know it's in
looks like
hand.
it's gonna
It's
happen.
real with Stoneforge. It's not like it's a surprise or anything. So yeah, you might as well if you're like trying to go down the route, because this Batterskull is going to make
It's gonna
any
gain
rating
8
with your
life.
1/1s and such really difficult. Gonna for a Zeta in the yard here.
Yep.
Gonna see a bolt here. Yep, take out the Colson, makes a lot of sense.
You also know, well, with this means they're 1 turn off Bailites, 1 turn off of casting Emrakul.
Well, one land specifically, I believe.
Well, with this
Oh,
Elvish
we
Mystic, now
miscount.
it's or not. We were lied to somewhere by Marco.
13, so that's creature, land, instant sorcery, artifact. Is
That's
that Planeswalker? Or tribal card?
It's creature, enchantment,
Enchantment.
artifact.
Oh, enchantment with the Courser. The
Courser,
Courser's an
yeah.
enchantment.
True.
Creature, enchantment, land, instant sorcery, artifact. I believe, yeah.
It does in fact actually. Ooh, I'm curious here. If you're Evius, if you're Bailite, how tempted are you to just play the Monarch card here and then let your creatures die?
I'm not playing this Monarch card. You can't control what's being drawn. If a land's being drawn, that's so bad for you. I guess Emrakul
Do you
does
just
have
swing in
flying,
and just
right?
let
Does
Emrakul-
Emrakul have Flampool?
Yes.
If this Emrakul has Flampool, then I'm pretty into playing the Monarch card. to be
Flying
honest,
trample
but,
protection from Instantes.
but I mean,
Yeah,
you
so
could
first
take
we're gonna just take
all
care
of
of just
these.
eating some creatures here. Deal with that problem first.
You definitely
I think
attack
now,
with the beach
I think
or
interesting question here. Seeing the fundamental Hellkite, which might cast next turn, do you just kind of go, fuck it, I'm just gonna like block with some of my spirit tokens here and let them.
But I'm double blocking both of these 2/2 tokens with my spirit, with 2 spirits.
Is there a reason you're not using Emrakul to block here? Oh, sorry. Yeah, right. They're both 2/2s. Right. My bad. Interesting. Chooses to use Stoneforge instead here for one of them.
Well, if you do your Stoneforge, then you get to keep one around, right? Like it has
True.
2 toughness, so it can only kill one thing.
Yeah.
And the
so you
furthermore,
can
it's not
opt to
guaranteed here,
heal
so
either a flyer or the Stoneforge.
so I'm looking at like what does EVS have to do here to get back in the game next turn? Like what are we
Kill this
looking for?
Emrakul. If you kill this Emrakul, then I don't think that
If
Bailite can win the game.
If your red deck manages to heal a 13 toughness creature with protection from instants, that's kind of impressive.
Look, Blasphemy Act deals 13.
While Thunderball does tap down the Emerald, which is quite nice, admittedly, it does not sadly keep it tapped.
Maybe that's what Bailite was doing.
There's an Oko that was just drawn. Oko deals with this Emrakul.
Oh yeah, you're not wrong.
Just saying. You know, as it does. This blue splash, coming in handy. Now, Evios still has a very uphill battle, but he will have an Oko around. So, I mean...
Wow!
Let the Elking commence.
That might
now have an
literally
Emrakul
swing
elf.
the entire game around.
Emrakul.
Holy crap! That is insane!
That was so good.
Now, admittedly, you can't save the Oko here if they swing both of the all of the Okos.
Yes, you can. You block the Emrakul.
Indeed, Wolfgang Oko usually does.
If you think Oko is your way to win this game, you can definitely keep your Oko around by blocking Emrakul.
Oh, true. You can jump the Emrakul. That is true.
I think it matters more if they think that the Oko is better or casting these expensive cards in their hand is better. And probably speaking,
there's also the
Oko
chance that Bailite just
chooses
to just go face here. I doubt that's going to be the case, but there's a chance.
If he went face, we would have seen a block here. Well, I guess they're still in block phase, but I don't think that you go face here. If you go face here, you block one thing, you go to 5, and then you get to elk something on your battlefield this turn, and then make it bigger and just.
No, Evius just decides here to to keep around Carroted here, allowing him to get down now 2/2s.
Yep.
One of them's probably going to get fatal pushed, and then we're probably going to see swing in with at least the flyers and the 3/3, I imagine.
I actually think that the one that will get fatal pushes is Goblin Cradlemaster. Oh, this Siege Rhino is pretty good.
Oh yeah, Cratermaker would also have killed Emrakul.
Oh wow, yeah. Emrakul.
Sure destroys a colorless permanent.
Goblin Overlords.
It turns out that Emrakul was never a problem.
This is very bad for Evios. You get to fatal push one and the other chum.
Turns out the screw deck is better killing Emrakuls than we'd expected. Next up, we're gonna see some sort of like sorcery speed plummet that we've forgotten about somehow. That being said, this is a lot of threats on the opposing side, and you're looking, a Realmmaster, probably not gonna do them. You have 2 blockers. You can block the Emrakul for a jump, and you can just remove 3 damage from the.
You can take no less than 5 next turn.
Yeah, this is exactly no matter what. There's not an out here. The Oko was great, but
the Oko gave us a great revigoration in this game, but you just never drew your 5th land, which was the end of the game.
Life gain is cheat.
The promised elk was
by
my
Evios.
comment.
But no, yeah, this looks like this is gonna be Bailite's game to win. Did this just quickly?
Yes, Wing Snare was going to come out of
Just doing a
EVS's
quick
deck.
update here on the other games. It does seem like the other games are actually done. So this is indeed our last game. The winners we have from round 1 are Einstein winning 2-1 over Brahms. We have Luca winning 2-1 over Jackie. And we have Wolfgang winning 2-0 over UnusualThunder. Those are our other brackets, having already finished their games. And it looks like this is going to be... Yes. Yeah, that would technically not do it, because there are these spirit tokens in play. Oh god, a wing snare. Oh wow, that is a bad card. That just somehow is better than Plummet in this specific scenario. But yeah, it's looking like... I'm not sure what Evius is waiting on. If they're trying to see if they can find something. I'm not sure what...
Probably if there's any
Miracle.
reason to play this Monarch card. And
Your
what they
token
could
from
draw
Realm Master
into.
isn't going to be blocked.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the position we see right there. And it's going to be the last game of the round. Let's see here.
Alright. Not much reason to just waste time, so I'm just gonna put it on 2 and we are going to do the thing. Right. I need people to report. And then I
Yeah,
can...
we need to report the last game. Can you report the last game if needed?
I don't know. I'm hoping that I don't have to find out.
Yeah, it should be reported now at least. So we should be able to get the pairings going here any moment. In the meantime, let's look at who we had for round 1 winners. Once again, we saw Bailite here take it down 2-0, also 2-0 WolfgangCloud, and making it at 2-1 we have Einstein, and last week's winner Luca. As well as, of course, we have Blahguy, who did get the bye this round.
Pairings are up. Who do we want to watch?
Let us see here. Let us see. Looking at it here, we had the Bailite play before. Likewise, we used to see here who has to buy this round. I am looking at... Let's see.
I am looking...
I'm thinking either Luca and Blahguy. That's the one
Wait,
I'm looking at.
did
Or
Wolfgang
Wolfgang and
win?
UnusualThunder.
Wolfgang did win, yes.
Pairings are so weird.
Yeah, I don't know what's up with them, but yeah.
Why did two 2-0s not? Why did the two 2-0s not get paired up against each other?
That was round 1. There's only one.
Oh, sorry. Why did the 1-0s not get paired up against each other?
Probably
Because
some of
buys
them
are a
did.
weird thing.
What? But there should be 4 1-0s or 5 1-0s, and
There's 5, so one of them is gonna get paired down.
Yep.
Blahguy had the bye. Not Blahguy lost. We could watch Blahguy versus Luca. If the Luca's on his Jun deck again, that would be a fun matchup.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, especially like an
Let's do it.
Aggro mirror match.
Yep.
Try to
See if the
who,
green splash makes the difference or not.
Absolutely, like that's something I'm very curious about, to see what difference that makes in that matchup. Usually, I tend towards being the simpler aggro deck will usually favor you. In general, there are exceptions. I think red-green, for example, would beat out mono-red usually.
No, I actually am opposite. I like this lower, bigger aggro decks in aggro contests. It's why Death and Taxes beats mono red.
I do actually agree. I do agree on that. I completely agree on that. But I just do find that the awkwardness of mana in two-color decks, if they don't, like for example, in specifically the mono-red versus Rakdos aggro matchup, I've now had a lot of experience with due to specifically Blahguy and I playing that matchup a couple times. And I find that the things that you add from playing Rakdos just don't help enough in that matchup
I think
I
it
think
They
that's
help
a
more
problem
with,
with
like-
Rakdos specifically.
Yeah, I
Like,
think you're right on that specific front.
I think if your 2-color deck is going bigger, like green white or green red, then it's better in the aggro matchups. But if
Yes.
you're basically still just a mono red like level deck, but you're playing black or you're
Yeah,
playing
like-
another color,
Like what
then
I'm
it's
trying to
not
say
as
here
good.
is that if we ignore specifically the reason for what you're splashing or what you're adding, then in general I'd say it worse. But if you add something that specifically improves that matchup, like you do in say Gruul aggro, then I think of course yeah you can have a better matchup. But if you're like just adding more colors for just slightly better cards,
Wow.
I don't think that's going to be sufficient usually to give you an noticeably improved matchup in the aggro case. Is that at least my take on it?
Firebolt. You're on a Rakdos?
Gonna see a quick turn
Oh, it's
one
on Rakdos.
I'm
filter
having-
land into Chrome Locks here on a red spell and just double one drop. Yep, double one drop indeed. Put on the
More
pressure.
power on the board. Now is this Goblin guy gonna draw a land?
He's gonna miss. He's gonna find a green wheel liberate on top here, and one of that's gonna come down and just be a great blocker here. If there's a fetch land as well. There's actually quite a lot of stuff here in hand.
Volcanic
seeing a big-
Brawler.
Ooh, that's a berserk. That's gonna be fun if that gets to go off. What else do we have? Yeah, just some really solid creatures we did see last week. Drake Magnet,
I
the
think-
3-mana.
I love
Yes.
how every time that you see a berserk in somebody's hand, you're like, okay,
You're
this is
like,
gonna be
ooh.
hype.
The berserk does one of two things: either it just completely demolishes your opponent, or you just sit there like.
Or it kills your opponent's Elishnorn.
Does
True.
do that
It can
occasionally.
technically kill your opponent's creatures.
Don't attack with Elishnorn in Legacy. Turns out. It's the only way for your opponent to get back in the game sometimes.
Yeah, we're gonna see the removals whether here get in.
Yep.
Admittedly, can't play the second 2-drop, which is interesting. I'm not sure if you'd rather go with the turn 1 Spike Jester into the perhaps turn 2 instead for the flexibility that 1-drops provide.
But since Spike Chester has haste as well, and Goblin Guide has haste, I actually would have liked Spike Chester turn 1 into Goblin Guide turn 2, being able to cast a removal spell. You actually get in more damage over this way. And then, Dire Graph Colony.
Now,
next
in
turn.
Lucas's position here, in my experience, this is
I
where
do
you're
not-
far behind. You have to play in the defensive here, sadly. So I think this
I-
is why we're seeing this Drake Magler here, just being a 3/3 against 2/2s.
I'm not a fan of casting that. I would have rather cast the Zergo and the Volcanic Brawler. It puts 2 creatures on the board as opposed to just
The one
one.
problem with that is that Zergo can't actually block.
That's fair.
So you're really only putting one block on the board either way. And in this case, you're putting a block on the board that can actually trade up and continually, hopefully, be blocking. We're also seeing Blahguy getting a lot of lands here. Bit awkward when you're trying to be the aggressor here.
Yeah.
You really do not
When
want to
you
be
when you
bordering.
cast a Chromox on the first turn of the game.
Oh yeah, that is especially Chromos and that Firewall, which could be really just a great way to use that mana otherwise. That is the price of playing a Chromox. You risk the fact that it has to be kind of good.
This
has to give you
Zergo
the
can
tempo.
block now.
Zergo can, technically speaking, yes, block in the form of a Smuggled Sculptor here. Also quite a good blocker, allowing you to loot away cards like... Admittedly, I don't think this Berserk is the card you want right now. Nor is this Faithless Looting, they're just too slow.
I actually don't hate casting Faceless Looting exactly right now, to be fair.
No, I could definitely see that. Definitely a valid option.
Gets rid
Get
of
a basic
your
mountain and
Berserk.
cast
And
Faithless Looting.
we see a Burmap Courier here. The card doesn't change the board a lot.
It is called an
Basically, it's
electronic
just drawing a
tomato.
card here. Basically just drawing a card.
Yes, cycles. So I'm curious here, what life total in the position where you're like just top decking do you just want to go, fuck it, I have to try and kill my opponent here, I just go all in?
Oh, I'm
When-
attacking with everything here. Because if my opponent wants to kill this Beaumont courier, they're taking 4 to the face. And if my opponent doesn't want to kill this Beaumont courier, sure, I just draw another card next turn.
And they're
Um,
taking 3 to the face instead.
And
Yeah,
they're taking 6 to the face pretty soon.
Ooh, that is a lot of damage. Price of Progress, probably one of the best draws here.
And they're not taking 6, they're taking 5 to the face. As of right now. But
Really depends on what they get here and if they fetch with the Scalding down here. They
Right.
choose not to, wisely.
now they're taking 6.
With the upside of 6 being 8.
Yes, instead of 8. But yeah, I would have gone all out there because your opponent, this is the last turn your opponent's only going to have 1 blocker for the most part. Almost certainly. So I kind of just want to make sure that I'm able to get in when I can. And getting in 4 damage puts your opponent down to 9, which is a large life
Getting
total.
in. Luca is actually choosing to
I don't
Numerous
hate
ones
getting
here.
in with Copter here because getting in with Copter here allows you to loot away a land, which is fine.
well, true, but you also have the Faithless looting, which does the exact same.
¿Por qué no los dos?
Also, not sure why you discard the more flexible fetch land here. Minor detail, but still.
I mean, I think he plans to discard both of them.
Possible. We see
Well,
double removal
Blood
still here.
Chief's Thirst is pretty good here.
Actually quite nice. A bit awkward on the mana, but still. I could definitely see like Blood Chiefs first play the brawler
Maybe
here.
the Volcanic Brawler.
We'll take, but yes.
Volcanic Brawler.
But if they made a hardcore volcanic brawler, it would probably also be Gruul and also be sweet.
It'd definitely be red.
Yes.
It could be Bond Red.
It could, yeah. Actually, that sounds kind of mono. Brawling is an inherently red activity. Oh hey, the other Zergo.
Hello, Circle, my old friend.
See, if you've gotten in for 2 last, or 3 or 4 last turn, right? Now you get to cast a Zergo, get in for another 2. And that would be a total of 5 or 6 damage. And then if it was 6 damage, your opponent would go down to 2 to this Price of Progress right now. And possibly be lethal if they draw a land. So
I'm gonna have to be right back in a moment.
Is that because you just accidentally started singing Hello Darkness, my old friend, and that got the MTG Remy version stuck in your head?
Admittedly not. It's because dinner's ready.
Yeah, that's also fair.
we see the Zergo get dashed here. We're gonna see an attack with both creatures, I imagine here. Kurdache is on the top of the deck. We're gonna get in for 2, go to 10. I almost certainly am gonna see a block here with this.
Oh yeah.
We're gonna see a block of the Zergo.
Does the Voltaic Brawler not have Oh, it's only when it attacks, so that was an activated ability. Okay.
Yeah.
That checks.
The weird energy ones were always when they attack, which made it weird.
Well, I mean, not all of them, right? Like Bristle in Hydra, for example, had an ability that you could activate whenever.
That was a rare though, and
That
so
was
was
a
the
rare.
Cub. The Cub was also a rare.
The Cub was an uncombo.
I thought the Cub was a rare.
Oh no, the
yeah,
card was so stupid in draft. We're just like, here's a 2-mana 5/5, and you were like, what?
Excuse me?
It's like, that's not what? That isn't how we have historically done things. It's just what I'm trying
So we
to
see an
convey to-
Archer here bringing Luca down to 9. It kills a Zergo and brings him down to 9, which I do like doing.
what you could do is you would attack with the Goblin Guide, and then if it doesn't get blocked, you're fine. And if it does get blocked, you can just use the Arctrail to kill both of the creatures.
That is true. If a Goblin Guide is attacking me though, then I'll be honest, I'm probably taking. I don't know. There's a lot that can go through your mind. Because it's a very suspicious attack, but it's like, what can they have? It's like, if they have Light Up the Stage, they're just going to cast Light Up the Stage here, and they're not going to attack with Goblin. It almost certainly tells me they have some removal spell that deals 1 or 2 damage.
Yeah, they might have, they probably have either exactly Arctrail or like somehow Needle Drop or that card or the new Spike Field Trap, I think it's called. Spikefield has.
They could also have like the new land, right? That deals
that's
could deal exactly. No. The land, the mythic one.
Oh,
because that deals exactly 3 damage, right? And
right now it does.
Right now.
Yes.
But essentially, the question would be: am I okay trading this Kerdate for a card that's going to deal 1 damage or kill both my creatures? And then if my opponent has a good creature, be able to kill it with Heartless Act? Or do I think that this Heartless Act is killing this Goblin Guide is good enough? Or do you think I can take 2 damage? And at the end of the day, I probably would just take 2 damage here. And that's what I would do. But we do see this Arctrail getting cast now, dealing 2 and 1.
It is worth mentioning, again, Luca doesn't necessarily know, but Luca is currently at 5 life and not at 9.
Yeah,
the
problem is with this Smuggler's Copter, you're never playing another land for the rest of your life.
That is also
right?
true.
Like if there wasn't this Smuggler's Copter, this Price of Progress would be dealing so much more work.
Yeah, all of these lands would be on the battlefield instead of in the graveyard.
Yeah, like.
Oh, Asylum Visitor. It's kind of sweet. Especially now, actually.
Yeah, it's also not a land.
Yeah, it is better than a land. It does do that. It is all worth mentioning that the Blahguy is kind of in this... Oh, he can just cast it? That is so sweet! That's a blast from the past from Luca's Old Madness days. It is worth mentioning that Luca might be tempted to play the land in hand just because it's a sound black source, since currently he only has the 1. I don't think he will, but that is a consideration that currently the amount of red black sources that you have is down to 1, and you might want to just have more. Yeah, and we see that.
Does this black source enter tapped? It doesn't, right? It does. Or it does, right? Because if it enters tapped, I don't like playing it because you can't cast this Heartless Act.
It's a fast land, right? That's what it is?
Yeah. Yes. We see Price get cast here. Now we're at 3 life.
Yeah. Shout out to the fact that Blackcleave Cliffs is just a very hard word to say.
Now, if we go back to that one attack where they didn't attack with everything and they only attacked with that idiot, the Beaumont Courier, there would be lethal on board right now.
Yeah, so Blahguy is actually, I think, trying to turn Luca's Asylum Visitor against him. Because as long as Blahguy keeps himself empty-handed, the Asylum Visitor will force a draw and will force Luca to lose a life. So that's what's happening there.
Yeah, but I mean, next turn you're getting in there for what, 8 damage exactly, so you have to block. There's actually lethal on board with Luca.
Yes.
Luca
we see Blahguy thinking long and hard whether he wants to force the trade of this Asylum Visitor with the Goblin Guide, because he knows that the Asylum Visitor is gonna kill Luca in a bet if he waits. Obviously, burning cards in Luca's hand and whatnot.
I mean, the problem with waiting, though, is you have to wait 2 turns, and the Smuggler Copter's getting in for 6 damage in that time, and you're telling me that Luca in his deck of Smuggler Copter can't find an additional 2 damage to put this game away in that time?
Yes, that's exactly what I'm telling you.
Like, Well, the Asylum
Luha,
Visitor
who
could win the game.
I would just remember last turn discarded then a card with Madness to Smuggler's Copter. That is a thing that happened. It's always great when you see a hand cast for its Madness cost. Oh, how about instead this game ends immediately? Well, not quite actually, but... Oh no, actually,
No, the game
it does end immediately. This is a
It
very
ended immediately, regardless of how you put it,
Yeah.
how you did everything. You could have. What you could have also just done is you could have curd aped the smuggler's copter.
Yeah, and then put everything, but then the rancor falls off. But
then your rancor goes back to your hand.
Yeah.
And it's just lethal because your opponent's at 8.
Yeah. I mean, it just. Look, there's
Scale up continues to do work for Luca.
Yeah, no, that's no stuff.
I mean, to be fair, I don't think it really mattered that game, but did do work.
I mean, that is a situation where you have to ask yourself, is any other card would have done the trick? The question is, because like you're kind of on a clock, but Blahguy is empty-handed, you just need to manage to finish the game before...
Okay. I like Luca's hand.
I like Luca's hand. I don't love Blahguy's.
No, Blahguy's hand has too many lands.
Yeah,
if there was a powerful 3-drop like Ferocious, what the hell's that card that's banned in Standard? The Dinosaur.
Rampaging Frostodon.
Yeah, Rampaging Frostodon. If there's like a Rampaging Frostodon, I would have liked this hand a lot more. But like, as far as this hand goes, you're not doing anything.
Like this hand relies a lot on top decks.
You're casting some idiots. Like, you do get to put a lot of pressure early, because you do get to put 4 power on turn 1 on the board. That matters.
Oh my god, there's a Rotting Regisaur. Big boys.
Oh, good. You're gonna be able to kill this Ash and then bring it back next turn. No.
The thing that we see that I think matters is just that, like, Luca's hand is, like, also kind of well set up, right? Because when Feral push something... Then he can
you get to
put the Direfleet Daredevil onto the battlefield, at which point maybe it even can flashback this idiot, the burn spell, which in turn, and plus the Daredevil has first strike, so he does get to just block all of these guys, so I wouldn't even be surprised if he just cast it. I
disagree a bit here, weirdly enough. I don't think Luca's hand is that great. It's good, don't get me wrong, but it's not that great. No, you take
this Rotting Regisaur makes Luca's hand absurd in this match.
Yeah, until you drew the Regisaur, it was kind of like...
also very much disagree with this this play of the Direfleet Daredevil.
It's interesting.
It blocks everything.
But so does this Ash Zealot.
I guess the best curve now is once you get your Direfleet killed here, you go Regisaur next turn, and then you go Reanimate.
Yeah, like this turn, Luca actually has a pretty sweet Reanimate by Direfleet Daredevil to flashback Royal Eruption to kill one of your guys for turn right now, which is
but that's 5 mana.
No, it's only 3.
It's 3 because you're reanimating your Direfleet.
Oh, true.
Like, I would have rather just reanimate this Ash out next turn, and then you can cast this Direfleet Daredevil from your hand. The following turn. Like, it turns out it's the same way because of Royal Eruption, but you didn't get value outside of your first Direfleet Daredevil activation.
That's true. But then you're not getting a second one, so it's kind of...
No, but you get an Ash Zealot instead. Like, in the front half, you're getting either a 2-1, right? Or you're getting a 2-2 with first... Both of them have first strike, but a 2-2 that is doing more things, right?
I don't expect the text on Ash Zealot about casting cards from the graveyard to be that relevant. In fact,
you have Fatal Push, you have... not Fatal Push, sorry. You have Faithless Looting.
That text is symmetrical.
You have Phoenix of Ash.
Tim, the text is symmetrical. So you would end up having to nug yourself with your own Direfleet Daredevil later on. I think that the Ash Zealot should...
No, you don't, because you cast it from exile, not the graveyard.
Oh. Oh, yeah. Interesting.
This card gets around Grafdigger's Cage.
think it's interesting that we chose not to play the Urborg here, considering I'm not sure we really wanted the additional green souls.
Oh, do we see a mistapping of mana here?
No.
No, we
No,
don't.
no,
We're getting the
yeah.
royal option.
We're just seeing preemptive tap of mana.
Yeah. He tapped weird, but he tapped right.
Not correctly, because you need to get the black souls and you need to get a red souls, and both of those require using the filter land here first.
Oh yeah, get in there, big butt.
Yeah, I like this lineup play.
This is big dumb idiot.
You're not feeling threatened on
Big-
board, or at least you shouldn't be.
Big butt rotting Regisaur.
That being said, I still think, because considering you have a non-blocker here, you just kind of have to, I'm curious here if you use the Shadow Skull, if you use the Forkbolt here. I actually think you use the Shadow Skull here. I think you
There's
want every
not-
single point
It
of
is worth
burn to
mentioning
go base.
that the Shadow Skull might be able to eventually heal the Regisaur.
Might. But that's, that is 5 or 6 mana?
It's 8.
X equals 5 or 6?
It's so you need
using
8
Shadow
mana.
Skull. Using Shadow Skull is fair here.
It's not happening. You're not killing this much.
Not with that attitude.
Not with that attitude, no, and probably not with any other attitude, realistically speaking, either.
Either way, I don't think that outside of price of progress, snap, price of progress shenanigans, we're gonna see a Blahguy be able to pull this one out. This card's your Urborg.
Actually, an interesting card right there. Might actually end up being a bit punishing playing that. The Asylum Visitor. That said, you're still swinging in for 7 here, I think. Play the Asylum Visitor.
Yeah, I mean, you're
Hold
not
up the
gonna
removal.
take any damage. The Asylum Visitor is something you can peach cast or whatever.
Actually, I
You can
suppose
jump
if you
walk
want to
with
play the Asylum Visitor, you can't hold up removal same turn. Due to, once again, the constrictions of your mana.
No, you have everything because that's a Grieving Currents. You have 2 black sources. It's not a problem.
But you have
Well,
to
no, I'm saying
cast the
you
Heartless
can't
Act
keep it
immediately.
up.
Oh,
because
right,
of the-
because he doesn't have another red source to activate. Yeah, okay.
Which Luca chose to keep a fetch land over Urborg last turn with Rotting Regisaur, which I didn't like. And I imagine the reasoning was that his opponent would benefit from this because he's playing black. But
Yeah,
I
but
don't
your
know.
opponent has so many
I would have
black sources, it's
preferred
pointless.
fixing your mana before you worried about screwing over your opponent's mana. That seems to be perfectly fine.
The best argument I can see is you're going, oh god, price of progress.
That's fair.
Oh, it is
Price
worth
of progress
mentioning
is how you use it.
this Heartless Act does not kill the Rakdos Cackler.
That is true. It can remove a counter from it though.
It's not very useful.
That is true. It's one of the rarer, not non-existent by any means, but one of those
It's not even
scenarios where
that rare, to be fair.
no, it's surprising how randomly they're just creatures in play. Interesting chooses to go for it.
I mean, you tapped your mana.
It's gonna sound weird, but I actually kind of don't hate the idea of just not tapping my casting my Heartless Act here.
No, I mean I think it's correct not to cast it. What punishes you if you don't cast it is a 4-mana burn spell plus like Boris Charm and a removal spell for your idiot. We have the Shadow Skull
The thing is, right? Firstly, you can now block the Rakdos Cackle if you feel like it.
Oh, you know how Blahguy could have killed this Rotting Regisaur if he had kept the Forked Bolt? He could have drawn into Rankle, and then he would have both mana to kill the Asylum Visitor and make people sacrifice with Rankle, and then this Regisaur would die. Luca just letting us know that he had to remove counters instead of.
You know, alternatively, he could also just draw like Dreadbore or Terminate.
That is also true, but that's less fun than Rankle.
It is true.
Master of Pranks.
I think you mean Master of Prank
Casts
calls.
it and then decides to remove none of the counters.
Wait, what?
Interesting. Plus Critter, we're seeing all these no cards in hand draw cards.
To be fair,
Coming
I
up
can only
in both.
imagine what a nightmare the MTGO interface has to be when you have to try to go and remove the counters from a permanent.
So here's the question: do you just attack here and see if they trade?
Oh, I'm attacking. This thing can't block.
No, I mean the Asylum Visitor.
Is that
You
the
just
worst
can't be-
bob in existence? That is the worst bob in existence.
Because beyond the fact that I wouldn't call it a bob, for reasons.
That's a bob.
Yes, it is.
It's
Even-
so
Are you
bad I
asking if I'm
don't
attacking
even
with
know.
a Silent Visitor or if I'm attacking with Rakdos Crackler?
Because I'm thinking there are two lines of play here, and one is that you use this Asylum Visitor to hopefully hurt Luca more and hopefully draw some lethal burn spell.
With that way,
It is
we
definitely
had this
sketchy.
discussion last game when there was an Asylum Visitor out and Luke goes at 2. Is you have to survive 6 turns if that's your line of play. Do you really think you can
your line of
survive
play
6
isn't your line of
turns?
play isn't to go for the full 6 points of damage here. The line of play is hope they don't block. No, we choose to take the safe line of play here. Makes sense. Swing for 2, play a 2-1, chomp next turn. See if you find anything. And they don't. Makes sense. So at this point, it's just really just a top deck war. Just a question of does Luca find lethal? Does Blahguy find something next turn? If not, Luca finds lethal this turn. Land doesn't really do much here. It comes to play. It's a red source, which is neat, but I don't believe there's anything in the graveyard they can use.
No, I think you attack here. Force your
Oh, yeah,
opponent
absolutely
to.
not a question. There's no reason to not attack here.
You're not letting your opponent draw 2 cards next turn.
I put a poll in chat if people want to vote on whether Blahguy is a bob or not.
Thank you, Sanity. Someone reasonable.
I mean, it's Asylum Visitor, Bob. Also, we see
Yeah.
lethal here.
Asylum says that there is a bob.
Lightning Bolt got the job done.
Lightning
in the
Bolt
end.
does usually get the job done. That is a common thing we see that card do.
It's
Just
25 years
hanging
of
out.
Lightning Bolt getting the job done.
Yeah, there's a reason it's one of probably the most printed cards of Magic. Up there at least. I think
The most printed
Grove
Shock
or
probably has more printed than Lightning Bolt at this point.
it might well actually have.
Like the amount of times they're
It's
willing to print Lightning
it's like-
Bolt these days.
I mean, there are
actually, really like
five.
this came from.
Though there are 4 separate printings of Lightning Bolt in that have happened in recent times. So what has happened to the camera?
We did get a ton of secret lair lightning bolts,
Yeah.
so that helps.
I mean, do you
I'm
count Secret
counting
Lair Lightning Bolts as 1 printing or
4?
4?
31 printings of lightning bolt. Let's see, Shock. Shock is at 25 currently, and noticeably fewer different art pieces.
Yeah,
Look at
but
these
also
hands
Lightning
though.
Bolt has 31, and like 10 of these are probably promo arts. So
And all of these are promo arts. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. It has a lot of different arts as well. Yeah, we do see a couple
also,
of ones
and
here.
we missed the most basic, the most printed card of all time.
Yes,
which
but I
is
think we also have
Basic
to talk
Mountain.
about the game here for a second, just to get us back on track here. Looking at Lucas' hand here, do you just go for the Rancor of Futzies, or do you want to get down your Grim Flare here and set up Pulse State?
Oh, I like Rancor the Rancor Thoughtseize here. You get down your pressure. You look at their hand. I do not very much appreciate not casting a Thoughtseize in the first 2 turns of this game when it's been in your opening hand, but if there was some busted card, you don't have a chance to get it then.
Badlands helping out with the mana base here. Giving you the third land you need to cast some of your spells. Quite good.
Get the catch.
Does make currently it's kind of awkward to block with your sorry, to attack with your courier here, your tomato.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
you
yeah,
just get to
you
attack
just need
with
the spikes
spikes.
to come in here.
For the
Curious to
record,
see if you can block
brief
here.
brief
I personally
update.
would block here. I feel like you can kind of grind them out here with like.
I don't
Like-
like this block. I'll be honest.
So
I
here's
would've
what I do,
rather-
like if you're feeling like, oh, I'm just gonna trust my opponents to have any removal spells. Dire Fleet and Rancor. That is 4 power first strike. If they don't have removal spells, which they probably do, let's be honest. Then,
I don't
that's
like
pretty powerful.
one Grim player though. Like you can leave your Dreadhorde Wanderer back to block this Spike Jester if you really want to block it. And this Grim Player is gonna get in and gonna do a lot of damage.
Can you guys not hear me? Is that what's
I
happening?
can hear you.
Okay, sorry.
I can hear you now.
Just wanted to give you a brief update from the back tables. UnusualThunder on, I think it was Kiki Pod, ended up beating, this sure isn't Kiki Pod. Is this Czech? This is Czech. Oh, wow. Okay, that's interesting. On essentially Snowco, beat Jackie Puppet on this is Rug Control, whereas Einstein on Academy beat Bailite on Abzan, 2-0 and 2-1 respectively. So
I'm casting the Starfleet Daredevil this turn. Actually, you can't cast the Starfleet Daredevil because of how you tapped. Why did you tap this way, Luca? Why did you crack your land, Luca? That seems adventurous at best. We see here. We're probably going to see a Smuggler's Copter and the Knight of Ebon Legion get cast here. Would be my guess.
Curiously not, actually.
I'm be right
Oh
back.
wait, no, never mind. It's choosing to do it post-combat. Makes sense.
I really didn't like the line that Luca took last turn. He tapped his only black or only red source when he had only really red cards in hand afterwards, to cast the Thoughtseize. And then because he did this, he cracked his Canopy land, and now he only has 2 lands in play because he cracked his Canopy land, which seemed bad.
So I suppose in this scenario you either play Swift Spear and Rancor, which seems not great. Very aggressive, perhaps to play
Playing
that.
Swift Spear and Rankle is a way to get in for a lot of damage, to be fair. This
Not
I don't
sure what this
understand.
lineup
I
play
guess
was.
no. Now you get to kill it with the Harpooner. The Harpooner
Yeah,
just
but
gets
that's
to
still a
kill
2-for-1 though, and that is not where you want to be right now.
Yeah, I mean,
We're gonna get rid of this Orc Acacia Hellraiser here. I think you want the spear here instead, actually, in Blackguys position. That's just gonna help you finish off your opponent.
I would like to
Like you have them under so much pressure. Yeah. Are we gonna? Yeah, we're gonna see himself let himself get 2-for-1, which really hurts honestly here.
Next turn you just get to get in for 5. Yes.
Just so you'll know, I will be eating some food in the background, so I'll mute myself on the stream. I'll not mute myself on Discord, you guys can still hear me, but it's problem. You can just ignore what I say for a bit later.
Yep, just gonna get in for 5 here, grow the 9 here. That's the Logical play. You don't want to be casting your burn spells right now. Next turn, if you draw a land, untapped. That's pretty much it. Not much to do around that. Yeah.
Play Death Right, play Monastery Swift Sphere.
Yeah, and even the Swiss Sphere isn't even gonna end up blocking here because you're gonna. Let's see here. That is that's 6. That's pretty much lethal. With just about any burn spell or land or removal spell should end the game off here. Because you exalt
Yeah.
the Aggro Crasher on the Swiss Spear, and you throw the burn spell's face. And they have to block the Crasher, so that's free, free, and free if you don't have land. And even if you don't,
I actually
you
don't
could
like
read
sending. I guess you kind of. I don't really like casting a removal spell here, to be perfectly honest.
No,
I
I think
just
it's
want to
really fine
attack,
to just swing.
swing with everything. If they don't
Force them-
block, they're dead.
Yeah,
If they
exactly.
block the
Force them
Beaumont
to make
Courier,
a
they're
bad
dead.
block before you force them to make a bad block before you use the spell. No reason to cast it before you don't have any prowess.
But yeah,
Like if
like
they blocked the Bowman Curry out of greed, nah, they just scoop here instead. Like there was no way Luke was coming back into that game. They
no.
were too far behind simply. But
Luca
instead
had a
of
lot of chances in that game and misplayed a couple turns that were very important. Overall, they were
Admittedly,
good
that's
games
not-
of Magic, though. They're
well,
very
it
fun,
is.
entertaining.
All
I
right.
think we are.
So 2 of the matches I had already finished. So I'm looking to see if the other one is also done. But outside of that, we should be. And I am muted them. I'll just still to say this, by the way. Just I don't know. But outside of that, we should be kind of getting ready.
We're looking at just getting the last match from Luca and Blahguy here reported.
No,
then
that
we should be ready for
Yeah, that's the last match to be reported. So
I don't
I guess we can.
see them though. Like
No, you should just update and then it should be showing.
oh
you
right,
that.
right. Yeah, obviously, yes. Obviously, they're done. We were watching them. We know that, right? That's the.
Oh, you meant Blahguy and Luca?
No, it's
Yeah,
fine.
no,
It's fine.
yeah, we were
Yeah,
we were
it's
indeed
fine.
watching them.
So I'm gonna let you. Why don't you go through the usual mid-tournament announcements, and I will be pairing round 3 in a second.
Yeah, absolutely. As always, if you're enjoying what you're seeing here and you're interested in playing some Canadian Highlander, if you're not already on our Discord, there's a link in the description and in the chat here, where you can find everything Canadian Highlander, like games, content, videos, just chat about what cards to play and what decks to play. Anything there, Canadian Highlander, that's where you'll find it mostly. Likewise, if you want to play in our events, we have our next event sign up is also in the chat or description. You can find it here. We have put it up. So if you want to play, that's where you find that to sign up for next week's Sunday event. You can also find more info on the website. We are currently working on some technical things so we can update with our tournament announcements as usual, our post-tournament announcements. That's currently still getting updated, so we'll be a bit behind on that. And lastly, as always, if you want to support us, a subscription is a great way. And if you have a Twitch Prime you want to send our way, that's a great way to use it. But at the very least, you should be using it on someone, because otherwise that's just kind of a sad little bit of waste of value you're just not getting there. That's just 2 for 1 yourself. With that being said, I'm thinking we should be about to see if we can get round 3 started slowly but surely.
Pairings have been published. What do we want
have
to take a look?
pairings. So it looks like the 2-0 match. The 2-2-0s are Einstein and Bailite, or sorry, Einstein and Blahguy. We watched
We haven't seen
both of
Einstein
them.
play, so that's
Oh, we
definitely.
haven't
not
watched
watched
Einstein.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd be down to watch Einstein.
Yeah, it's a. We don't see a lot of combo decks, and I imagine Einstein's on Paradox, so it'll be a fun match. One of the few matchups that my blue-red tempo deck had a non-negative matchup against.
Luca, welcome to my TED talk, how to throw a match, a quick guide in micro tilting. Yeah, we've all been there where we just said, like, make a play and literally the second after you're like, I even knew that was wrong, and yet, nonetheless, I did it. Just sitting there in agony, knowing that for the rest of the match, that's a mistake you'll have to live with. And we'll have to move on, because that's the next game, or dinner, or whatever, I don't know. Some other mistake to be made.
Don't move on. You forever hold a grudge for the rest of
Oh,
your
you
life.
will forever hold that grudge.
And
It's just about being able to live with that growing stack of grudges. That's how we move on in life. It's about
and
how
when
hard
you-
you can punch yourself and keep moving on. I think that's how the quote goes. I haven't actually watched the movie.
And thankfully, the player at the top of the screen didn't change, so I'm like, I don't have to update anything there.
just making your life easier.
Yeah, no, it's great.
So
Yeah,
I
Blahguy
do
hand here.
like this hand from. Actually, I dislike this hand a lot.
Weird,
It's
and
bad.
here's why.
You have
One drop,
two
two
cards
land,
that
great.
don't do anything in this hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Arc Trail does something, but it's real bad. Steering Blaze actively does pretty much nothing. Typically.
Yeah.
Bailite is actually on Academy, as we
Yeah,
do believe.
I was looking at like the first three cards, and I'm like, okay, the
Yeah, that's an
Conquistador, that's
Academy
a
list. I
decent
can
one
see that
drop.
even
Okay,
from here.
okay, you got a land, you got a removal spell. It goes face. That's
That is
good. You
a
got another one that
really,
goes
really
face.
incredible hand from Iceland. Oh my god.
This hand,
That's got potential.
Mishra's
Holy
Workshop
crap.
into Worn Power, and
Into
this
possibly
hand
like
is
turn. That's a
I
lot.
mean,
That's a
to
lot.
be fair, Mishra's Workshop into anything is usually handle stupid, so it's not.
shockingly you don't have Oh, never mind. You drew a Basalt Model. I was gonna say you have nothing to Mishra's Workshop on turn one, but now you have a Basalt Model. Oh, you have Worn Power Stone as well. Just for some reason, I was thinking Worn Power Stone was their end dynamo, but you know. We see the Conquistador. Now we're gonna see Collective Brutality, which is gonna feel, I guess, not the worst in the world.
Notably less horrible to have.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I am definitely discarding this Searing Blaze to it.
Oh yeah,
And
not a question.
if there was a relevant creature at all at this field, even if it was a 1/1, I'd be removing this Archer from my hand as well.
So I'm
But
curious here. Do you take the Time Twister? I don't think there's a argument even for taking the Capsize, is there?
yeah, you can't really
Caster.
take Capsize here. Your
I think,
opponent currently
if you are at the
cannot
point-
cast the Capsize.
I think if you are at the point where Capsize is relevant, the game is already hopelessly lost. Whereas Time Twister is
Exactly.
what gets you there.
Also, this deck thrives on wheels. Like, if you do, like, this deck will wheel 5 times in a turn.
Yeah, that's why they actually
And we
have
just
started
brought on
playing
wheel,
cards like
but luckily
Mercer.
that for Blahguy
If
that
you-
is a red with Fortune, so that's not castable currently.
Like, they rely so much on wheel that they actually have started playing cards like Hole Breacher and Narset Parter of Veils just to have the added out of being like, well, I get a
And
new
7
hand and you
cards, you have
don't.
none.
One with my life.
Yeah, I was gonna say I expect to see the Aegis Flux into a Basalt
Breeding
Monolith,
pool.
or maybe just a simple. We should seem to take the safe play here, the slow play, play the Breeding Pool here instead.
Yeah, your
More
opponent
burn
didn't
from
play a
Blahguy.
2-drop last turn, really. You're not under that much pressure.
This Aegis Flux Reservoir, by the way, incredibly punishing against Blahguy's hand, considering it's just burn heavy.
Yeah.
Because that's a good way to mitigate a lot of that damage.
Defense Grid. That's not the most important card in this matchup, but
It's just basically gain some
it's
more
a life.
life.
It gains you 2 life, so like,
Exactly.
you know.
It's
I think
playable,
that
it's
if
not
you are
horrible.
Blahguy, it is reasonable to concede after you draw a bad card here in Mox Gen. I think you can concede here.
I don't
And-
think you concede here.
Yeah, you
your
concede
opponent
when
has a
the wheel is
cap dice,
put
which
on
is
the stack.
uncastable, which leaves your opponent with one card in hand that even does anything, perhaps.
Yeah, the
I don't
problem
think
is that
you
the card
can
is Wheel of
concede here,
Fortune,
anyway.
so it does a lot, but I
And,
think
like,
you need
if you
to
really
see
get
the
mana
wheel in order to
Yeah, and if you get mana from
the
here, Burst Lightning does hit for 4 eventually. So this is not a game over. I think you just play the Arc Trail here. Hit honestly, hit your Conquistador for 1.
Hit your
Eyesight for
Inquisitor
2.
for 1.
And then just Burst Lightning as well. Don't think there's sorry, not Burst, Chain Lightning. And see if you can try and hopefully draw like Price of Progress here. That just kind of wins the game probably.
Yeah, and
Or
that,
just
I mean,
any
the wheel
beast
might
cards.
throw you into it.
Yeah, like look, this is a mana vault that says gain 1 life. Congratulations, that's all you did. That's all you did for 1 turn. Now take 5 or 4.
I mean, again,
This
there's
is
a
why
Wheel
I'm
of
saying, like,
Fortune.
I think if we find the red souls here for Einstein, I do think it's probably game over on this Blahguy
Oh,
like.
Einstein doesn't have
Bypass.
red. I had not picked up on that.
Exactly. That is why I'm saying this game is not even close to over. I like this choice here. This
I'm
green
gonna
choice
see if
of
there's more
not
food,
having
so
mana
I
vault.
stop making these mistakes.
Not a win card there, but it is a 2/2, so that's quite nice for Blahguy. I don't see a reason to even cast the. I don't see why you would cast it there.
No, you now also let your opponent know they are dead on board. Frantic Search.
That's a way to try and find something useful.
Oh my god, if you draw into anything around, see, you get so much mana off this Frantic Search.
Well, Eugene doesn't get cast off of the Mishra's Workshop.
Tezzeret, however, does have potential.
What does Tezzeret even find, though?
That is a good question. You can't really cast it right now, though. So it's probably just Yugen -1. And just
So
get
is
a bunch
this
of life.
1,
This
2,
Ugin's
3,
castable.
4,
This Ugin
5.
is castable.
Yeah, this Eugene is
Exactly.
castable, actually.
Oh yeah, not even
Thanks to the
question.
mana vault.
You cast Mana Vault here. You cast Ugin.
And I think you don't have the mana ball. You tap the monolith here.
Well, I mean, you might have to cast
1,
both. I
2,
don't
3,
know.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, you have enough mana to tap like this.
And then you just gotta clear the board here. Put yourself at a reasonable 9 life. And I think that draw there, the Frantic Search, that is what I'm saying. Yes, you can draw into something that just wins the game. You could also just draw a mana rock that gave you 1 life. It was very
Yeah.
luck of the draw at this point.
No, the only way at this point, Blahguy is kind of on pop or bust.
It's not even good enough anymore.
With DLC? No, I don't do DLC. Sorry, I was confusing the Born Power Stone for a land.
We're gonna
Curious to see what we
find.
get here.
We're gonna
Presumably just
find
Academy.
Academy. We're gonna play Academy. Then we're gonna play this Tezzeret.
Yep, that is a 5 mana adding Academy. So what are we getting with Tezzeret here?
I don't mean... Candelabra?
Untap
No,
here.
because you're out of mana? I mean, actually, you're also
We
out
see
of cards.
Rakdos getting pulled up from Einstein here.
Non-zero chance that the correct thing to do is actually just find something like a coercive portal to refuel cards. He opts to instead just untap, just have more mana for next turn.
Yeah, untaps Basalt Monolith and something else.
Blahguy is fighting the good fight.
I mean, you're ulting your Ugin. I guess you're not ulting anymore because this thing's attacking Ugin, but like...
Is he even attacking Ugin? I'm probably attacking Tezzeret.
Attack Tezzeret, then how are you beating Ugin? Ulting?
You're not. Nobody is beating Ugin. This game has been over for 2 turns.
I mean, I'm aware. Attacking the face. I want to see this Ugin get ult, though. It's on my bingo board.
I wouldn't
Ulting
say
Ugin.
over, but very, very close to it at the very least.
This game's over. You ulted your Ugin. Also,
Oh yeah,
you just have
I
lethal.
agree. It's over now.
How did everything become creatures?
Tezzeret ulted.
Tezzeret.
Oh, Tezzeret ulted.
So I'm
Oh,
so
yeah.
sad because I didn't get to track off ulting my Ugin on the bingo board.
would like to ask
And
you
so
kindly
your board
remain
go
the correct
better.
score.
So this hand. Please mold this hand this time, Blahguy. I don't want to see this hand. Don't keep
No,
this
like
hand.
this
To
is
be fair,
actually even worse.
it is worth mentioning
arguably.
that Blahguy is a person that you know is going to be on Rakdos Aggro, right? Einstein has range. Einstein is a person
this is
that
better.
has
Not
a
great, but
a
it's
few
better.
decks in his wheelhouse. So like,
He does have a few decks, but most of it boils down to he
Actually, quite
plays
good hand from Blahguy.
one. This new hand from Blahguy is pretty good. You have 2 lands,
Mhm.
which if you didn't have that second land,
It's
is
wonder
my
fantastic.
point
into
is that
top
Blahguy
two,
just didn't necessarily know he was going to sit down for it. Like, maybe his first hand was a lot better against his Death and
No,
Taxes
okay.
than-
So when I sit down against Einstein, I assume he is on Academy until I've been proven otherwise.
Really?
Like I know he's played Death and Taxes. I know he's played Rakdos Aggro before or Team or Blitz. But I assume he's on Paradoxical until I see something that tells me otherwise.
Agreed. Of course, this is a meta assumption, but that's just how it is. So interestingly, this is actually a hand that, until you remove the Signet, could actually easily go like, easily had the mana to use Golas at some point.
But like this hand also just casts a turn 1 goals, right? Unless I'm crazy.
Yep. Probably the turn 1 Golas. Or even a turn 1 Reap.
I guess you're 1 mana off
Actually,
the
yeah,
turn 1 goal. Sorry.
The turn 1 Reap was a definite possibility, though.
Yes.
I think you just kill the mana vault here with one of your spells here. Honestly, take the tempo.
Your opponent just played this man vault, kill it. Attack him for 2, basically.
No, you played it. I think you played Agraf here. Just get rid of it.
Oh yeah, Angrath Rampage is so much worse than a Braid. A Braid being an instant is so much more important than destroying an
Yep, and only being
Planeswalker. Like you're not going to
and
care about a
targeting.
creature they play. Like
No, exactly.
this is
There
one
are
of the
some
times where
planeswalkers,
you get to
similarly.
actually get targeted removal out of your Angrath Rampage. Just cast your Angrath Rampage. Please do it. Please.
At least do not let them untap. Probably ain't that big a difference to get to untap, but still.
I mean, I guess the decision here is: do you want to play a Smuggler's Copter?
Like if you play Agraf's Rampage here, saying sack a artifact, they can't choose to sack that land here, notably.
Oh, that is true. That is
So if they want to go down
that
that
does
route,
make it a lot worse, but
that is a transmute. No, sorry, copy
the
artifact.
copy artifact.
I'm still not used to that art.
So we're gonna just see this copy artifact be another land, which honestly is not the worst thing I've seen.
Ends up being a better rank pen growth actually.
Yeah, nature. Is there even one that's 2 mana enter on tap? I don't think there is for green. Can't think of one off the top. Nature's Lord does it enter tap? I thought Nature's Lord entered tap.
Nature's
for
Lord's
some
on tap,
reason.
but only forest.
Yeah.
Of any type.
Well, we see this Golos get cast now on a reasonable turn 3.
Yeah. So we do have 3 types, 3 colors currently. Can easily get a 4th if that's what we go for. Which honestly I think it should be.
No, you get
Choose not
Academy
to.
here.
But I
This
feel like
Academy's
Academy
tapping for 5 mana.
It is tapping for a lot of mana, but you don't have much to do with the mana. I suppose there's a Sensei's Divine Top that just says, eh.
Sensei's Dividing Top says, look at like the top 80 billion cards in my library. And now this is interesting. You sacked your Golos here. Actually, kind of. I guess your opponent has a Smuggler's Copter, so your Golos isn't doing blocking anyways. But
Yeah, we want to get rid of these random burn spells. We want threats. We want 1-drops, 2-drops, 3-drops. Like a Goblin Guide. Honestly, get rid of this. I'm actually looking
Wild
at
Flash.
getting rid of this. Yeah, that's exactly the right kind I want to get rid of. I just want to get my Goblin Guide down
Yeah,
now.
the difference between being 1 mana less and dealing the damage more in this right now, you want just all the cards that deal more. Cards are going to be the limit, not your mana this game. An upkeep top that's going to put the biggest, dumbest card on top of the library. Ah, Time Twister. Yes, that card. I don't see the other two cards that's being decided between, but Time Twister's quite a good one if I'm not.
Yeah, I'd be surprised to not see at least Time Twister being a consideration here.
It does draw your opponent 6 cards, which can be awkward, but it looks like we're just gonna shuffle away.
Yeah, I might just find a land here. No.
Ooh, big butt time.
So this does set up lethal limitably. I think we're going to try and get a bit of Goblin Guard value here, I'd expect. Yep, looks like we're digging for land just to get free value.
The thought was probably from Einstein was he wanted the land last turn to try to set up this turn for a Time Twister.
Interesting. That is a frantic research, I thought.
This is interesting, actually. I guess he really wants the Frantic Research, which makes sense because he gets to go Frantic Research and Time Twister next turn. Otherwise, he could have cracked this land to search even farther for land. But one of the things that Einstein's very good about is he's good about knowing when he can just set up and what turn he has to go off. And he didn't have to go off last turn, and so he just found the land, waited to set up more. And now he gets to go Frantic Search, which will draw him into a Time Twister, and then cast a Time Twister, and then see what other shenanigans.
Do we actually cast this land here first? I'm curious.
Cast the Frantic Search?
No, the Reap.
No, you don't, because you need to discard it to.
True, but you could use the top, but I suppose if you do top, then you have the problem of
So we get to see
something.
Sai here to start with. And you get to play Mox Sapphire and a Mox.
Yeah, side double Mox. If you even want to do that, actually, maybe you just play a land on top here.
Well, you're casting the Mox even if you don't. Even if you
I agree.
just do it, you get a free Thopter.
And it ends up being the amount of mana either way, and now you can play a land if you draw that later somehow.
What's the other blue card? X blue in the hand right now? Not
That would be
not Stroke, but the other one.
Reshape.
You get to
which is basically
draw.
a good artifact but slightly worse.
Ooh, Urza's on top of the library. That's
pretty big
not
deal.
doing something amazing right now, but it's still
it's pretty good alongside the Sai, honestly. It might not be enough on its own, depending on what you have.
I don't know if it's good enough that I want to activate top. And
I mean, worst case is you reshape for like Candelabra.
You can, yeah, you can reshape for Candelabra.
I imagine that's what we're going to end up seeing at some point. If there's nothing else of note that generates mana.
We
have what currently 4.
We see a Talisman of Progress and
7 mana from this
something else as the last card.
Sorry?
I can't see the last card.
That is Recruiter Foundry. Sorry, Retrofitter Foundry. That is the mana card that makes first a servo, then a Thopter, then
or it makes a servo and then turns it into a Thopter, and then turns 5 Thopters into a big Thopter. Legacy play. Yeah.
Great.
And the Ninjas deck.
Weirdly enough.
But yeah, we have a lot of mana here. 7 mana, so yeah. So we see that Urza actually is coming down here. I guess now with you can draw Urza and you can still do reshape for Candelabra.
So we currently have 5 mana in play, 3 mana floating, that's 8 mana. We have a couple options here. We could go greedy and go for Paradox, but I'm not sure if that's worth it.
I feel like with Stroke in your hand, you just want to be able to untap. Stroke for 5. Okay, Paradox, I guess. Cast a 1/1 Walking Ballista. You get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Question is, do you cast stroke or do you? Yeah, you probably just cast stroke here.
Oh, you cast Stroke for like X equals to 6.
I was
Like,
considering
it's-
getting greedy with it here, but that's once again, that's if you miss, that's just probably real freaking bad.
I mean, you miss it's not even the worst thing in the world because you get to make this. You get to do disgusting blocks. Like you're.
I don't think block is gonna matter anymore. I'll
That's
be honest with
probably
you here.
fair. Although there isn't that much burn.
Now we just slap some artifacts, keep using set to try hitting cards.
Yeah.
Sigh if need be. Yep.
It's almost like these both are disgustingly stupid cards. Whenever an artifact is getting cast to, like they're just netting a mana. Oh yeah, Blahguy, this is awesome. Don't you love this show?
I mean, it's actually quite a spectacle to watch, admittedly.
Yeah, and it's really funny that Einstein could fizzle here. He has a bit of time to
It's really
not
unlikely
fizzle.
though, considering that he already
You
has
get,
the
like,
win con. All he
you
really
have
needs
to,
is
like,
mana.
You get 4 activations from Urza too that you have to whiff on or something, but it is possible.
Yeah, and if you really want to, side throws a card at what, 2 and a blue, correct? And 2 sacrifices?
Oh, brainstorm? Sure, this is.
Sure, play the fetch afterwards, get rid of some cards.
I guess that's reasonable.
Frantic search. Oh no. Tesseract? Okay, I think this game is over.
You can
I'm
acceptably
not gonna say
concede
for
it.
sure Tesseract wins here, but
At
I'm
this point, it
gonna
is
say
no longer
there's a good...
dishonorable to concede the game.
No. Let's just say I think both Santi and I would be quite surprised if this doesn't somehow win the game.
Well, there's 4
The
lands
best
in
way for
Einstein's hand.
Einstein to lose this game is to time out, and he has 12 minutes on the clock. So just to be clear about how Blahguy's chances are looking in this game.
Yeah, like this deck can be time intensive. It's not that time intensive.
No, like
Like
search
it
your
takes...
library X equals to 4. Get your Aether Flux Reservoir. Cast this Brainstorm, and I'm pretty sure you're getting
Yeah.
close to just being.
As soon as you have like as much experience with this deck as someone like Einstein does,
it is worth
seeing these
mentioning, like,
lines is just like second nature.
In terms of actually winning the game, this deck takes longer than, say, Storm, right? Like, Storm wins the game relatively quickly once you know the lines. It's just like, I play this card, and the game is over. Like, in a format like this, where I'm winning with
I'm just seeing
Tendrils.
some older comments from Bailite here, who apparently got turned to by Einstein, even with a camp ball in play.
The thing that surprises me is that it was turn 2 and he had a Kambal in play and he's complaining.
Yeah,
It's like,
exactly.
oh yeah, it's like, well, clearly he wasn't the only one cheating, like playing cheaty magic.
Yeah, you can go Llanowar Elf into Cabal. That's
yeah,
reasonable.
Llanowar Elf is cheating. You play 1 land per turn and you play your 3-drop on turn 3 like everybody else.
We have 3 drops at home.
I assume that was the last match, but I guess there could be something still going on.
It was the last match. That's okay. What I was trying to say before.
Seems to have a tendency for us to choose the longest
matches. I'll get them to report, and then I will. I'll match the last five. Oh, they already reported. Sweet.
Way ahead of us, apparently. For once.
Pairings are up.
So if we're watching the finals, it's Evios versus
Einstein.
Definitely an option. I'm just looking at what else we have, but that's probably the one we're going to be watching.
So UnusualThunder versus Bailite, Blahguy versus
is
JackePepper.
the question that I have is whether Evios is because Evios is 1.
He's 2-1.
Is 2 and 1.
I
Yeah,
think,
but
I think the
that's because
primary
that.
argument for not watching them is the fact that we have seen Einstein and Evius play before. So if we want to feature someone we haven't seen today,
I mean, everyone that all the other matches are one person we featured and one we haven't. We've seen Bailite, we haven't seen
Right.
UnusualThunder. We've seen Blahguy, we haven't seen JackePepper. We've seen Wolfgang, we haven't seen. We haven't seen Wolfgang, but we've seen Luca. I think at this point, since we've seen at least one of the other people, we should just go with the feature with the trio.
Fair enough.
Follow Einstein.
Yeah,
and we can see if
I'm
we
down.
get to if Einstein goes off before Speed of Sound, then we might be able to find one of the other matches in a game or two left.
Yeah.
You said UnusualThunder was on what today? Was it some control deck?
I think
Reviews
it was. It
like,
looked like Rug. Like I don't know. No,
Rug?
actually, it looked like Snoko.
Because that matchup could take forever. Bailite versus Snoko.
Yeah. This looks
Sure.
like some sort of like no red check pile. That's what it looked to me. That's what it looked like to me.
I imagine Wolfgang is on the Grixis deck he's been working on.
Wolfgang
No,
is on
the
Grixis, yes.
Do we know what Jackie's on?
I can give you that. I can give you that news in a second. I will need a couple. I will need a minute to like set these feature up, and then it's all yours. And then I can
Absolutely.
answer all of these questions for you.
I
Just bombarding you
refuse
with,
to give you
questions.
time. I'm impatient. Things need to happen immediately.
Well,
Got one of the
tough.
cameras up here, and
That's the wrong
was the
one.
game.
So-
Just so that you're aware.
I don't like
Top.
Einstein's hand.
what did you say? I do like this second hand noticeably more.
This second hand looks a lot better, yeah.
As in, this hand has a literal infinite mana stall combo. If you want to do that.
Yeah, and it has a
Which-
Mox and a Time Twister,
You
and
can go.
like,
You can
okay, this
infinite
hand is
mana,
busted.
then you can just cast Time Twist and just be like, yeah, let's see what we hit. That seems pretty reasonable.
Yeah, this hand might just be busted. Okay.
Yeah, like any like
Evios.
we just gotta like casually draw like Ballista here and
Also, your hands are backwards, by the way, Marco.
I know. I'm
We
working
know.
on it.
Yeah, I don't know what Evios's hand is, but outside of like
oh, we're
Mox
getting
into
information
like a
that
harsh
Thunder is
mentor.
actually on a Batwalk deck. So yeah, that is also a matchup that can take a good bit depending on what Bailite's draw looks like, especially.
See the Mana Vault come down here.
Do we go for the Monolith play here?
I mean,
Because
you
at
can.
what 5 mana
You
per
have
going turn?
4 mana.
either
How
way.
much is rings? How much is rings cost?
I believe it's 2 mana to play, 3 mana to copy, if I remember correctly, or opposite. No, sorry, opposite. Sorry, opposite.
Okay, if it's
Free
the
to play,
same, then
no.
you definitely cast them both, right? Like you have 4 mana, right? Or is Vault only tap for 2? And Vault only taps for 2, right?
No, Volt taps for 3.
Well, the thing is,
Vault's
you
two.
Vault
do
taps for
need
3,
like 5 mana to invest the start of the rings combo. 3 to activate the on tap, 2 to copy it. So it's not like
Yeah,
it's
but
free.
if you could cast both last turn, I think you just cast both and then.
I don't actually think you cast Assault Mana because that's mana neutral to cast, right? And Mana Ball is just gonna take you for 1. Oh wow, Upheaval. Wow.
Yeah, the
Doesn't
card
really
wasn't
do
really
much
necessary.
actually, but still.
Yeah, I think that we've seen these.
Actually, does Upheaval do actually Upheaval right now this turn?
It does not. You're 1 mana off if you want to do it. Because Monolith is not adding extra mana. Rings is not adding extra mana.
So if
You
you
have 5 on
capture
board.
but small, no, never mind. Yeah, this is a little bit of an awkward.
I think what you just
Nice.
do here is honestly you cast the I think you cast the Monolith. And just pass a turn, and then next turn you go for the do you let me see here, so it's
So I think what we're seeing here is we're waiting to see if Einstein can draw a land. And if
Usually
Einstein
not,
draws a
depending.
land, then you're in good shape.
Yeah, Eevee's also just looking for some mana here. Bunch of free drops
Yeah.
in hand.
We haven't really seen a lot of Evios's hand, but this hand doesn't look like the worst thing in the world. It does look a little slow in that you're not putting a lot of early pressure on the board.
I mean, we
But you
kind of
have very
fancy the hand.
powerful late pressure. Like you get to go Ghoul Spellbreaker into Questing Piece. Oh, Mana Vault Key I think is good enough here.
Oh, yeah, that alongside rings should be that should in fact be able to do it.
And
think
you
you might
even
be
get to
one mana
start
off
off with
to do it this
Upheaval. That's
But,
the fun part about all of this, because it's mana neutral or gang you
Yeah,
mana.
especially if you can cast the lands again, so if you really wanna just get a bit more time. Don't have enough mana to go
I
after them.
think you could have just cast Upheaval there, right? You could have before you cast the Basalt Monolith.
Maybe stop out your opponent from even upgrading next turn.
Yeah, because you put all their lands back in hand, you play the land, and then you get to play Mana Vault.
Evios
And the
writes,
Mox.
Harsh Mentor off the top.
Yep.
Harsh Mentor, true. Or Fractusk. You know, that'll not too much. I guess you attack with the Bomber here activated and
Yeah. Like
either you just straight up just hope your opponent has literally nothing to do with his infinite mana.
which is not the most like they have 2 cards in hand. It's not the most unreasonable. Although you know they're not lands, so they're either you're hoping they're more mana.
They're not lands at the very least. And the other is like Tolarian Academy. That's it. So Tolarian Academy would win the game here. Get Ballista. But no, do you crack the Bomber Courier here just to hope to find something?
Oh yeah, yeah. I am. I'm not tapping my red source though.
You have to tap your red souls though.
Yeah, it does cost
you
red.
do. Never mind. It does cost red.
And we find lands and mana, but
I would have cast this Chain Lightning here, not to be perfectly fair. Oh, Song of Creation.
Yeah, there's no real reason not to agree.
Well,
now we just make infinite colors mana and have some fun.
Yeah, you make infinite colorless mana.
And then we see where we go from there. We can't cast the Song of Creation though. We have no green access currently.
No, but you do get to cast Upheaval in a second, just to start with.
Yeah, and the fact is that that's even free actually due to the fact you can recast your land and the Mox here.
Yeah.
Not sure you want to recast your land because you probably want to leave that open for some more mana
Yeah.
flexibility, I think.
You do get to. I do think Upheaval here is pretty much free because it just removes all of your opponent's stuff.
Oh,
We're gonna just see straight
Twister.
Time Twister.
Yeah, I mean, I think you could have just immediately recast both your land and all of your artifacts, right? I think Upheaval was.
Yeah. Like I think you could have even upheavaled last turn, right? You could have upheavaled last turn and then gotten the same board state that you did because you just had enough mana to get all the things back, and it just leaves your opponent with no.
It is worth mentioning that if you do upheaval, that kind of takes you completely off colored mana, which can be awkward.
No, it does not.
No,
Unless
because
you
you
find
get to
like
replay your
secrets.
land.
It removes.
No, but then you have to
one
play the
colored
land.
mana.
You have to use the land then to Twister, right? That's probably part of the equation. So like you can make 3 blue mana total. You have a what?
You have a Mox though. Like
you
not...
have access. That's my. Oh no, yeah. You also get to replay the Mox.
You
right?
get everything back. Like you still have blue mana afterwards.
You have access to 4 total blue mana on your upheaval turn, not 3. That's the question. That's the thing I was. So you can use the Mox to Twister, and then you can and then you still have the land drop that gives you access to blue mana, and you can always draw a Signet, which we saw. So okay, yeah, that was.
Not sure why. Oh, that's the Inventor's Fair. Never mind.
Ventus Fair finds presumably a walking blister, right?
Yeah, or anything else that really wins here.
Yeah,
but yeah.
One of
but
78 ham sandwiches that win the game.
Gets like I don't know if we can. I can't remember if we can copy it, but we could just get like any sort of way to draw an entire deck and just yeehaw it from there. Not a great hand from I assigned the first one. This is interesting.
This is not. I don't actually like this hand from Einstein.
No, I don't like it
again.
either. Evious' hand. I'm not sure if this is a second 7, but this is definitely a mulligan as well.
Yeah, the Cradlemaster is good. You just don't have your land.
Kratom is great. Rubber, I actually don't mind. Lightning Bolt is fine-ish. But the rest,
Hellrider wins the game, but like you don't have any lands.
Nope, no
And
lands.
you also have to get to turn 4 to cast it,
Exactly.
which isn't a
Einstein
given.
going down. This does look like a reasonable 5. Throw away the orrery. Throw away probably a land, I imagine, or the.
Be this
You keep the
caverns.
preordained for sure, and you keep the breeding pool. Probably also keep the Oko and one more land. Question is, do you? Yeah, you build the paradoxical outcome here. Oh,
So we do see this hand being kept from
going
Evios.
down to 5 there.
I guess this was his 5. You're not doing much better on 4. Both players mulling to 5. Einstein is heavily favored.
Agreed. And I will say Evios. One land here is gonna make a big difference. But yeah, Oko against his 5-card hand, especially if we see just Evios missing land drops here.
And let's pack it up, boys. We're not gonna see concession yet, but it's pretty close to being up with missing that land drop.
Bundles Ornament, Pauper Stable now. And also quite good in Paradox, when you can just be like, yeah, I'll just use my shite ton of mana to make some additional card draws here. We are gonna see probably a Robber, I presume, coming down here. Or
That
if you're
Moxley was a
play
good
safe.
draw.
No, we're gonna see the Credit Maker come down here, play safe.
I like the Cradlemaster because if you draw a land next turn, then you get to hold up Cradlemaster and play the Robber.
What I wouldn't like here is seeing Glimmervoid played. That could probably not gonna be bad, but it could end up awkwardly.
We're just gonna see an Oko. I imagine this
Yep,
Oko's
true.
gonna boot it up.
Start making like a bunch of elks.
Well, the elf is super awkward.
It's awkward, but it's better than nothing. It is at least the ability to bolt and play a mana dark, which is
I don't
better than nothing.
like attacking Oko here.
Windfall, actually not that great anymore. It's still fine, but draw 4. It's kind of mediocre. Honestly, I'm just a big fan of playing a land and just activating Ornamental Bonders Ornament. Try and say the words in the right order, actually. Just, I believe it's 4 mana.
Next turn,
Ornament
we get
Bonder.
to see this Oko die, and we get to see an Elvish Mystic enter the battlefield.
No, we won't. Presumably. We'll probably still see the Oko die. I'd not be surprised. Oh, that's a lot of mana. Not a lot to do with it, but it's a lot of mana.
So what, we
starting
get
to
to
have some
see
real threats here. Are we gonna just see
Domri
Domri fight,
into
attack, kill Oko? That's actually really good. Get rid of trade the rubber for the food token, yup. And then get rid of this Oko, because you do get +1 plus to all your creatures with Domri's passive.
The problem with that last cleave, though, was that there was just not enough mana on the side of the battlefield for Egypt to cast. For like the next 2
Curious
turns.
here. What do you do? You presumably to just play this. Yeah, you play the Lotus here. You presumably just draw a card, or can you draw 2 cards? You'd have 4 from the Academy, 5, so 9 mana in total.
I was still muted for my previous cleave comment because I
Easy.
muted myself because I was eating, and that's very awkward.
Oh, Solarian Academy. What do you get without? Just Walking Ballista?
You can get Walking Ballista. I mean, there's a variety of 0 mana cards I assume they're playing.
Agreed.
I think Ballista
Question
is
is
the
just
most
how many of them are
obvious
relevant right
choice.
now. What, like, you
And-
could also just get, like, what is it called?
Inventor's Fair.
Inventor's Fair, yes. That is
which
what we got.
would gain
Fair.
1 life per turn if it wasn't for this Rampaging Ferocity that's about to show up.
And for the fact that we're probably just going to sacrifice it immediately to get something else. I'm not sure what we're going to get with it.
I mean, that's the thing, right? Like, what wins the ice in the game? Like, you don't have enough spells to actually just... plus, like, your mana isn't that crazy right now. You don't have enough spells to actually just fire off and find, like, a Paradox, because, like, you just pinched on card. It seems like he is kind of fizzled off a bit.
Yeah. So if you're an Evis of Shoes here, what do you actually cast here? Just two mana creatures here? And leave up the Critter Maker here for safety? You know your opponent just literally got Inventor's Fair.
You don't have enough. I guess you have Smuggler's Copter. Yeah, I mean, I want to leave up this.
Next turn as well.
I want to leave up this Cradle Maester as much as possible.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one.
Yeah, he agrees. I mean... No, never mind.
Song, that is actually quite good.
It is castable as well, although...
That's the awkward part of the card. That it's hard to cast. Like, the mana...
It is castable.
It is castable right now, yeah. You don't even have to
But it
suck
does
the pad out.
require some sacrifice somewhere. Either the Lotus Petal is going to be sacrificed.
No, it didn't. You could have gotten green from the pool.
Lotus Ornament. True. And you I knew you had a tree. Never mind.
And you also have a Gilded Lotus. Yeah.
True. No, I did counter the Gilded Lotus. I was like, either use like the Lotus Petal for the third type of mana, use the Metaphor Key for the third type of mana, or you use the Solarian Academy. And I completely forgotten about both ornament, Butler's Ornament. Jesus Christ, cannot pronounce that ever. Apparently. As well as the Bloody Tree of Life in hand, because it does allow you to play an additional land.
Yeah. Also the Gilded Lotus. That's the other part.
No, I counted that one. That was number 2 alongside the Breeding Pool.
That was also an academy, though.
That was one of the possible frees, but then you can't use that to gain more mana later on. That was my line of thought. But design is much better than
Paradox. With the Song of Creation, the Paradox is no longer going to fizzle, so that ended up being an incredibly important thing to draw. And now...
Yeah, like, even if you just start generating mana and fight not much, you have
Memory Jar, sure.
on the tournament. And yes, I actually said it incorrectly for once, on purpose.
The only other thing that you have to be careful at this point is that Song of Creation is not optional, and you might deck yourself. But
true.
That sounds
yes, when you cast your 40th spell, you deck yourself.
Well, you know.
If you just find a ton of lands here, you can crack Lotus Petal, crack the Buried Ruin, and then that way actually get back something. We're gonna
see the Paradoxical Engine go bye-bye.
Yep.
Which...
See if we can generate enough value to survive with the onboard lethal. Almost onboard lethal. And definitely in-hand lethal. Gonna get back the Paradox here, makes a ton of sense. Just for as much mana as possible.
Yeah.
This is not guaranteed win.
It's pretty close.
It is indeed pretty close, and this size is gonna make it even pretty close.
This is the point where I leave my computer, I go to the bathroom, I come back, I look at the board state, and then I probably concede.
Yeah, it's like I'm gonna go get a cup of water. I'm gonna go see.
I'll be back in a minute.
It's not even disrespect, really. Let's be honest, because this is kind of like I have other things to do with my
No.
time here.
Like, I'm not going to concede until I know they have won the game, but I also have no desire to sit around and look at the screen while I'm watching them get to the point of winning the game. And it's like, if I need to go to the bathroom, I'm going to go to the bathroom time. But no disrespect to Einstein at all. I'm not trying to be
I
mean
mean,
or anything.
it just takes a
Yeah,
while,
with the cards,
especially
with
like
the cards in hand, like this is not deterministic
Mhm.
yet, but it is.
I mean,
if we
at
don't-
this
now it
point,
is
it is
deterministic.
pretty close to deterministic.
We now have capsized. It is actually deterministic now.
Okay, yeah. So EVS is about to have no permanence in play. Yeah, there you go.
And then the infinite damage walking ballista, because you
Yeah.
just bounce the Song of Creation once it's drawn too many cards.
It doesn't matter.
Or
Like
almost.
you're gonna get to 38 mana before it decks you.
Yeah, you literally have infinite mana. Just bounce the song, make infinite mana with the capsize, and then
You bounce your mocks every turn.
or
and
Lotus Petal or whatever. It really doesn't matter.
Mox gives you an extra
because you
mana
can cast
bounce.
you can
Cards,
cast
but it's
capsize
irrelevant.
infinite times. That's the thing. Okay.
Exactly.
with untapping your paradox.
Yeah, and
with
then
paradox
untap
and
more mana.
untapping.
Yeah. The capsize does make it deterministic. Right. Yeah.
So as long as you're netting more than 7 mana, which I believe they are, Einstein is right. 1, 2, 3, 4,
I'm
5,
sure
6, 7.
Yes, they most
8,
assuredly are.
9. 1, 2,
I'm counting
3,
6.
4. Well, okay, you got Gilded Lotus plus untapping Gilded Lotus. That's 5.
That's 5
Ponder's
already.
Enclave
Yeah,
is
never
6.
mind. I missed on the
Mock,
Gilded Lotus. Yeah,
Mock,
that's 5 mana by
That's
itself.
8 plus 3 talismans is 11. So you're making 11 mana. Plus, if you bounce your Mock Sapphire, that's an additional mana you're making every turn.
Right.
And
Or
we're
an
not even just
additional,
gonna lose.
sorry,
We're just gonna
like
go target with Blahguy Ballista, and then if you want
10
to
or 11 mana.
I've
right?
got it. Okay.
Either way, this game is
Like at this
it's,
point, you've
Game
seen
is
the
indeed over,
Ballista.
yes.
If I had returned to my computer chair at this point from going to the bathroom, I would concede.
You're pressing the concede button.
Yeah, but
Let's see if Bailite is still playing.
I mean,
even going for the
I
exact
assume
seeds
Bailite is
with,
Bailite is still
even
playing.
going for the exact kill with the walking ballista there. And it's going to be actually, I believe, the first reported game last I checked. Well, it's not been reported. Yeah, actually, it has already been reported. So we actually have all 3 other matches still going. I'm not sure how far in they are.
Bailite looks like he's about to be winning. I don't know if this is game 1. I assume it's game 1, but
That is rude.
We'll log in and
Probably
we'll figure
true.
it out.
Rude.
It is an assumption. It is clearly rooted in experience, but it is still an
Bailite,
assumption.
his opponent's at 5 life, which means his creatures tap sideways, which means they're they have attacked. This is only turn 6, I will say though, according to MTGO.
So yeah,
So
this
maybe
is
it's game 2.
probably game 2 or 3. Yeah. In all seriousness.
I will take a look. Okay, give me. I'll just ask. You know what?
That said, depending on what Thunder has in hand here, this is probably not going to be a game they're going to win. They're going to eat.
I don't know what
pretty good
4 cards are in Unusual Thunder's hand, right? Like I could see there being cards that easily get you out.
Well, you're about
Bailite's
to.
pretty close to being empty-handed. Like if you were to play land and planes are cleansed, or like a land and then a planar cleansing here, you're in pretty good shape. But I don't know what the cards are in hand. It does look grim from the current state of the battlefield, though.
Looks like I'm gonna guess Ephemerate. A
Regrowth
Forest.
and land.
Regrowth that I'm not sure what I can get back currently.
You can get back a Phyrexian Metamorph. Oh, there's a Vannifar as well.
Yeah, I think
so I was
Phyrexian Metamorph does leave you alive. It leaves you at 5. Minus the 2 on attack. Vannifar is kind of awkward. Doesn't really. It does keep you alive if you just want to go down that route. Play the Vannifar, try and survive on 1, go for the pod line next turn.
You could Vannifar keep up Ephemerate to even keep your creature alive to make sure it doesn't die. Which I don't hate you.
But if your opponent's gonna play a remove spell,
So Bailite is in fact up 1 game. This is game 2. So the text on screen is even correct.
What is the third card in a Fundus graveyard?
The third card in which
Not
graveyard?
Strand, not Metamorph.
Unusual Thunders.
It's Phantasmal.
So we see the Phantasmal.
Phantasmal.
That's fine. We see the Vanfar get cast here. We see the Ephemerate being held, which I like. The thing you could do is you could regrowth for the Flooded Strand if you hadn't played a land yet, but I think they had already played a land.
They
I think
had.
the
They played
Forest
the
was
Snow
played.
Forest to the turn.
Um,
So I absolutely think the line of play here is just try and go for the bot chain of souls here. Next turn with the full combo. Regrowth, get back.
I'm assuming this is
should-
Swift End getting cast here.
You,
Yes.
you have it actually.
Swords to
next turn.
Plowshare, double
You do not.
removal spell. Okay.
You do gain life, so you're not technically dead.
Yeah.
But
Also,
ain't
though, your
looking,
Ephemerate
bright.
does go to the graveyard now, which is good. That's actually a good thing.
Interesting choice to actually play removal spells in that order, because if you, I guess you are not guaranteeing lethal if you go down that route. So it's a choice between
Yeah,
guaranteed lethal
swords.
versus
If you
playing
do
around it.
sword first, then it just resolves. Then you don't have lethal.
What is this Sylvan's Grind for?
Right.
What kind of card are you looking for to get out of your Sylvan's Grind here?
I mean,
don't actually
Guy's
know.
Cradle's good, but like,
I can
I'm
give
worried.
you an answer in a second. Let's see what they're cooking with right here. Gas Cradle, that's a good one.
Like it doesn't. It's not even close to
it
worth it.
doesn't feel like it's worth it to get Guy's Cradle for this deck.
They have Caracas as another like potential.
Do they have like a
like
Mine Wasteland package?
utility target. They do not.
We see a concession nonetheless with Unusual Thunder at 1.
And
Makes sense.
this
Didn't really seem like. Seemed
Did
like
not seem like they were
double
coming
rules
back that game.
get it in there.
and it's over. Let's see who else is playing. We have Luca versus Wolfgang, or Blahguy versus North Woodsman. What is it, JackePepper?
I think we haven't. Wolfgang, I kind of know what's on. I want to see what Wolfman's playing, actually, if possible.
Let's do it.
We've seen plenty of Luca last week as well, and we've also seen Wolfgang. Admittedly not in this deck, but Wolfgang has been a recurring character on the stream in previous seasons. As you said, it does look like it's this white-less tempo mid-range deck here from Woodsman, which is not a great matchup against. It's not a great matchup to be up against Rakdos Aggro, because that's the kind of deck you do not want to be facing when you're playing a 4-color mana base.
Also, not the deck you want to be facing when you're playing a tempo deck.
Nor a tempo deck, no. True.
I know from lots of experience.
So it looks like Blahguy's up one game right now.
Seems like we're joining these games and someone's losing when we join. Like, about to lose when we join.
I'd say this is less given, though, than the last game. Last game felt quite given.
I mean, last game, if Bailite didn't have a removal spell, there was a lot of hope.
Absolutely.
It is Bailite though, and his deck is about 70% removal spells.
But you do get to see an additional free 2 cards compared to usually because you have the library. But yeah, speaking about this game, we do see them get in here, interestingly enough, with Tess choosing to not play around any haste threats off the top here.
I assume this on-crop Crasher had just exerted, so it's probably remaining tap.
We do have counter spells in hand to probably deal with, I presume, any 2 fast
Is that
threats.
a recall in hand?
That's
no.
a miscalculation, I think.
Miscalc, correct.
I saw a recall on the screen.
I believe that's in the graveyard. Or exile.
There is an ancestral recall in JackePepper's graveyard, yes.
gonna say no thank you to the Sanders Rouger before saying I
That's a
suppose
good one to
the-
miscalc. Not. There's a very good one to miscalc.
Indeed, that's a really good card to get back in the
We
game.
see the coveted Fire Covenant, which I have mixed feelings on, and I have
Was
always thought
Jackie the
people.
one on Tween, or was she the one on just regular Grixis? Grixis? I
They
don't
were
know.
both on regular Grixis last time.
No,
I mean,
one
one
of
of
them
them was
was
on Twin.
I believe
There was
one
a
of them
Twin
was
verse.
on a twin
So
Grixis.
JackePepper was on Twin last time.
Yeah, we're just gonna start up by like
Also,
plussing our planeswalker here.
Probably a he, not
Digging.
a she. I don't know. I'll have to double check.
I don't think they're on Grixis twin this time around, though. It looks like,
I'll check that in a second.
considering I play that in green, accessory called Killing Cast once again, Kazir.
Marco. Apparently, you can hear people can hear you through your coverage account.
Oh, I'm fixed. Sorry.
Blahguy said that he could hear you, but he muted you.
Okay,
So.
fixed. Yeah, that's been taken care of.
I see Archer. You see the cascading in there, bringing one-time price off the top. Price would be good here.
Price is an easy win at least. Let's say that much.
Oh, that's
1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
if
6.
Blahguy's choosing to play that in this version.
Did you mean Vicious Conquistador?
Close enough.
Same difference.
So
The
is
question
that
is
lethal this turn?
no.
That
because
is
you
5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I don't believe that's actually lethal.
Actually,
I believe that's one off.
Cass gets to cast something else from graveyard. So
True. Depending on what's in graveyard, that might be lethal. You're right.
yeah.
Wait, is are the twins +2/0 or +3/0?
Was that the last match, or was that the last game, or was that them
that
No, I
going?
was
believe
the-
that's
They're going to
match.
game 3, right? Blahguy was up a game.
I don't know.
Blahguy was up a game. Sorry, I thought I said so. I believe though that they are opting to join a new game for timing reason. In which case, I do hope that the same persons. Yeah, okay, they did the right thing.
That said, it is also the last game we have going currently. So this is it. This is it for the evening. So we can actually say now with complete certainty that week 2 winner Einstein with a 4-0 record.
To be fair, after Einstein won, we knew he was the winner.
True,
Yeah,
we
could
did
have
know that, but
already
now
said
we know that this is the last game, so I just wanted to wait till
That's
we
fair.
were about ready.
Is this a MASH casualties again? Oh boy. Oh boy. MASH casualties.
At some point
Gonna
I'll
make some
understand why
mashed
that
potatoes.
card.
No, you won't, Marco. You will never understand why this card is in the deck.
Me neither. Me neither.
I'd like to point out
Like
that
I can get
last
behind
time
some
our
sort of
stream-
deep sweeper.
last time our stream I believe exceeded 4 hours, and this time it's like 2 hours and a half, and we're getting ready to wrap things up.
It's definitely been a lot faster this time around. Like this is the only round where we have featured multiple matches.
Yeah,
Most
that's
games have
true.
been like pretty swift. Ooh,
So
this is
what
an
you guys
interesting
should do
choice.
next time is all play mono red, and then the games go even fast. And then the week
I
after
think if we
that,
should try-
everyone play
No.
turbo.
We should have a mix of mono red and some really slow decks.
Yeah, because like mono red or mono red matches are not that fast.
It's a lot
Like-
of thinking, but
Like,
I'm
I
curious,
think
can I just
Storm
ask you-
v Storm is actually the fastest.
I'd just like to bring us
I've
back
ever
to the
guessed.
game here, just real quick, and because I have a really interesting line, and this is a turn 1 fork bolt from Blahguy here. What do you think about that, Santi?
About him casting Forkball on turn 1?
Yes.
I'm not a huge fan of it. You do know that your opponent's not playing that many creatures, but your big creature is the Scourge of the Skyclave. And I guess this Forkbolt is so you can play your Scourge on turn 2. But even without playing your Scourge on turn 2, you could play your Asylum Visitor instead if you had to. I know why it was done. It was done so the Scourge could be cast here, but it does seem a little awkward.
And
I guess the hope
ends
was
up being incredibly punishing with his Baleful Strix here.
yeah. We can see Zergo get, or actually we can see On-Prop Crasher just get in here, and that actually.
Yeah, I'm looking like either you just play the Zergo and the Asylum Visitor and play safe here, or you go you just
go in here.
yeehaw.
You get a lot of damage in. You make this dude not be able to block. Their Scourge becomes a 4/4.
Admittedly, after damage, certainly.
Yep.
If you'd actually gone with the Scalding Tarn here and cracked it, you would have made it a 5/5, but you can do that next turn if you really want to. It's not going to likely make a
Yeah,
big difference.
it's not changing damage this turn, so it doesn't.
Yeah.
Matter.
The worst
in the
thing
long
that
run.
happens is that, I don't know, it gets -4/-4 by something. Which is
Your
unlikely.
opponent plays a Grasp of Darkness in their deck. Sure,
Like
sure,
example.
sure.
You've seen Marsh Casualties. Everything's possible at this point.
Sure.
I will say I'm glad that they decided that they gave Scourge of the Skyclaves a characteristic defining ability as opposed to just making it a 20/20 that gets -X the way that Death Shadow
Almost
does.
like they learned from Death Shadow.
It was like that would have made some stuff happen.
Well, I think Scourge is the
As a
one. The way
non-judge, could you explain what you mean by that, actually?
Well, if that would have meant that its power would have been 20 while it was in your hand and your graveyard. And there's a number of things that you can use it. Scavenge, for example, like Varolds of the whatever is like a way that I can think if that's the case. But there's a few other ways. I'm thinking of Varolds right now, but
classic Varolds going turn 1 ditch my Dreadnought or.
now it's not relevant here, but since Marco brought up the Scourge, the Skyclave thing, because of the way it's worded, if you play Scourge in a format like Commander where you don't start at 20 life, it does, and you play something like that gets back like 10 toughness worth of creatures. Like I think there's a card, one of the Apex Legends from Ikoria. It gets back like 10 toughness worth of creatures. You can actually get back 30 toughness worth of creatures with Skyclave because it counts as -20.
What?
it does work
Really?
like that. Yeah. No, so
What?
it definitely used to work like that. I think that they changed it so that in calculations now, if you would use a negative number in a calculation, now it's just 0. I think that
I don't think
changed.
so. I don't think they changed.
I know
it.
that I remember there being a
ridiculous,
rules change at some point that reflected something to that degree. I don't know exactly what that ended up being. I'll check.
Magic is a wild game, folks. I'm quite interested in the fact that we don't see this visitor come down here. Unsure as to why that is. We didn't see that one coming down.
Which one?
Like, you're not
The
giving our
Asylum
defense
Visitor?
anything.
Yeah, I would have assumed the Asylum Visitor would calm down, but maybe you're
It feels
just
like you're trying to play around in council for some reason that I don't get.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
I don't, unless you know there's a twin in Jackie's deck here, I'd recommend just making it white less or check tempo. Because it looks more like that in its current iteration, red page.
We're gonna see the Creeping Target come and tap. Probably just
gonna
holding
be
up
an Electrolyte here, I
Electrolyte,
imagine.
which it's gonna be pretty good.
Okay, so I have checked basically the way I think you are correct. Basically, the way that ends up working out is that if the result of a calculation would be negative, you end up using 0. So, for example, if you try using Chameleon Colossus ability, right, which gives it +x, where x is its power, but it has negative power for whatever reason, it just gives it +0. It doesn't actually
Kill it.
give you, yeah. Whereas, but within a calculation, you use the negative number, and you use the negative number as a negative number. That's what I think the rule that the result would be 0 actually changed. So that is because like it used to be the case that, for example, you would attack with your wild. What's the name of this card? There was a creature that when it attacked, it gave +x to all your whole party, where x was its power, and that was in the same standard format. Yeah, but that one of them was in the same standard format as Dismember. So you would attack,
and then you would dismember this,
and then you would dismember the trigger,
and it would kill your board.
It would kill everything. Yeah, as you said, everything gets -3, then we move on.
I am sorry for those watching about not giving commentary on this game, but there isn't much happening.
I really do not like this line of play here from Jackie. I think that's too greedy.
It's
great to play the Planeswalker here, but I think you want to just immediately get rid of this this visitor here.
Yeah, this Asylum Visitor is going to draw your opponent 2 cards. I guess this Mash Casualties is going to get
rid of it. I keep forgetting Mash Casualties can actually get rid of it.
Now, if they didn't have the land in hand beforehand,
the card you mentioned,
did they have the land in hand beforehand?
They did.
Or did they draw into that? Okay, if they had the land in hand, then this is fine.
Yeah, I forgot
I'm not expecting my Mana Leak to counter anything anyways at this point.
No, yeah, I agree. I think you just played safe here. And then if you have
you see a Volcanic Hammer, probably just go straight face right now.
Yep. We're just in the business of drawing Prize of Progress or something.
Yeah. What are the green cards that are being played in this deck for JackePeppers?
I presume it's cards like Tarmogoyf, Uro, those kind of maybe not Uro, but like Tarmogoyf,
Oko. Like, are you literally splashing
Uro,
for like
Oko,
3 cards?
God damn those names.
It just doesn't seem that good.
Renin 6.
Abrupt
Decay. That I'm expecting it's just all like good cards that happens to be green.
Can we get a confirmation on the cards being splashed, Marco?
No, but I can.
It would be appreciated. We're going to see Dig Through Time here for 2 mana, which I don't like casting this now, to be perfectly honest. I know why you are casting.
You want to find a green source, you think?
Green source to cast Tarmogoyf?
I mean, considering you have a Gosh here, it's kind of like fine-ish. Like, you have a counter spell that's going to counter anything more or less except a 1-drop if you find a green source here. So I think it's fine.
So you want to know what...
well, at least you've got a forest, specifically.
You want to know what green cards?
Yeah. Oh, we see Nimble Mongoose.
Nimble Mongoose.
Yeah,
that's an old timer.
Damn.
I think this deck is actually rug. No, maybe it's even 4 color. Like, look, like here are some green cards.
It
right?
is. That's what we said. It's straight up 4 colored.
Oko, Thief of Crowns. You see the Nimble Mongoose. You saw the Tarmogoyf. Ramon Excavator is in this list.
So here's the thing.
Mwomvuli Recluse is in this list.
No, Lightning Skelemental. No, my boy.
And Leo.
It gets in for damage.
No, it doesn't.
It does. It dies to a braid.
So here's a quick question for you, Santi. Nimble Mongoose in the same deck replace a bunch of devil spells.
That's fine. You want to fill up your graveyard. It's actually often fine. Like if you look at Legacy, for example, Legacy would play Gurmag Angler and Nimble Mongoose in the same deck. They're 2 different threats. It's fine. I don't like Nimble Mongoose in this deck though because it seems like green mana is hard for them to find, and I want the green card to be very impactful. Like
evasive action.
They're playing Mana League and therefore also evasive action apparently.
Yeah, we're going deep on counter spells. I guess if you're playing 4 colors, evasive action.
Speaking of stealth, by the way.
Like I don't know how. Like, it seemed like last game I didn't remember them having much green mana, if any. And this
There was
game
none.
they had trouble finding their green mana, and so I don't know the deck, but it seemed like playing Nimble Mongoose on a deck that's having trouble finding green mana. I want my green cards to be very impactful for me to be playing them.
Yeah. I
Agreed.
mean, I understand if
But we also
if you're
talking
like
about the same person who plays goddamn Marsh Casualties.
I understand if you're like, I'm playing some green cards. I'm playing basically I'm playing Grixis, flashing Leovold, the one activation on like Death Red Shaman, and then like Oko Uro, and maybe I don't know.
I mean, you're not splashing arrow, but you might play it in like this type of list.
Like, I could also see Tarmogoyf being played. Like, you're like, this is just a big beater. That's fine. I can play this card.
No,
Right?
I mean you
But like,
absolutely have splashed the Uro because by the time that you're flashing it back, you probably have found another one of good green sources. Like you're not bringing back the Uro on turn 4, right? Like by turn 8, probably have found the second green source. That's probably fine. Especially because Uro's digging dog you towards it a little bit too.
now,
Honestly, would have loved to
funnily
see them raid
enough,
last turn, just because the double active plus activation on the Royal
Price
Sands
of
here.
Progress is still lethal. So
Yep, that's one of the reasons why. Because you're kind of just putting yourself in an awkward position to anything that's not a creature. Not sure why you wouldn't just raid it last turn. Just like that's a less flexible card. Like you're not afraid of a 1-mana card next turn. That's not what you should be fearing. I really
you
want to see
got
this
like
Price of Progress
Price of
just
Progress,
punish. I just
Fire
want
Covenant.
to see it. Just come on, Blahguy. I just want to really just some sort of 5 damage burn, 5+ damage burn. Like
Fiery Confluence works here.
yeah, I'm not. Sadly, I don't think Blahguy's playing that.
That does not sound like him, but I can check.
You see that minute deck sitting over here. And Wasteland does not do it.
It does get rid of
Fiery
a card,
Confluence
but
is not in his
it's
deck.
not. Yeah, Blahguy admitting that this game is in fact over, getting rid of his own Blood Crypt. And
And
that's gonna
this
be
is
that's gonna be the game. That's gonna be the final game of the evening, actually.
Sweet. We had some sweet magic. This was dope. We've seen somebody some combo decks show up. That was
more than last week at least. We had
yes.
a little bit of Splinter Twin last week. Oh, we did actually have some pod as well. That's true. We did definitely have some combo, but we had pod again. Well, correction, we had pod walk, I suppose. We had Einstein who went a solid 4-0 with a Paradox engine combo. We had some of our mainstays like Bailite's Abzan deck and Blahguy's Rakdos Aggro showing up once again, making waves, having some solid
funnily
finishes.
enough, this week, the final standings, we had one person go 4-0, one person go 3-1, one person go 1-3, and everyone else went 2-2.
Yeah, no one went straight up 0-4, which is not
No
too
one went
surprising
straight
considering
0-4,
vibes.
and everyone but one in each of the other categories, like in each of the other rankings, went 2-2.
I mean, to be fair, we didn't have an offer last week either. It just happens that way. If because of the small field and the buys that just happened, like it just
Yeah,
kind of
that's just the nature of how many people we have playing. Sadly, each week. If we were to have more players, yes, that would mean we would end up with
If you
people
want
going
people to go
0-4.
4-0 and feel sad with themselves, get more people to show up.
If you want to just be ragging people, just convince them to come here and stomp them into the ground. I mean, we do not.
we do not condone stomping people
bullying.
into the ground.
Only on Black Friday are you allowed to stomp people into the ground, clearly.
All right.
Typical American capitalism.
So, as we are closing the stream, I just want to remind everybody that if you want to sign off for, we have events. So, okay, yeah. If you want to sign off for next events, we have a Discord that, I mean, which is the official Canadian Highlander Discord, and that's just our point where we put our points of contact. And you should sign up on this on that Discord if you aren't yet. We have a website at 10thpoint.weebly.com that has all the information that you need in order to sign up for the event, and we have already a sign up page on MTG Melee for our next event lined up, which exclamation point next event gets you there. If you are not subscribed to this channel, it would mean the world to me if you could at least consider signing up to this channel, because it helps the tournament keep going. It helps us keep going. It helps us doing things like offering prizes, and that is, and it's good for reasons that are apparent. So yeah, it would mean the world to us if you would consider using a subscription on us, especially if you have a Prime subscription. That should definitely go to somebody, and if it's us, we are moved that you decided to use it on us, but otherwise use it on somebody. Amazon does not need the money more than whatever content creator you would use it on. Finally, speaking of content creators, let's go hang out in Benjamin's chat.
Bailite, thank you once again.
Bailite.
8 months. 8 months. A 7th in a row even.
Yeah, Bailite was with us during the period where we weren't streaming. Go Bailite.
Bailite can get to use a whopping 1 emote. But it's a great emote.
It is a
Best
good
emotes.
Alright.
Once again, no amount of narcissism here.
Alright, I think it's time for me to close the stream off, and I'll see you on the other side of the raid. Bye.